We've got the market here, as of right now, at least trying to gap up. We sold off pretty heavily here in the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ on Wednesday afternoon as the market took in the first ever speech and press conference from Fed Chair Kevin Warsh, who was not super revealing in terms of his outlook, but he was very revealing in terms of the amount of task forces he wants to have with the Fed going forward. NASDAQ here certainly gapping up, perhaps more sharply even than what we're seeing here with the SPY. Let's take a look at USO as well. USO, meanwhile, gapping down. We know that we had a virtual signing of this memorandum of understanding with the U.S. and Iran from the leaders of both the U.S. and Iran. Now, speaking of U.S. President Trump, we have some news with him as well. INTC gapping up here pretty intensely. U.S. President Trump posts on Truth Social, pretty lengthy post, but during this post he praised Intel, talked about bringing semiconductor manufacturing back to America, and actually specifically mentioned Apple and Intel having a tie-up. So good look here for INTC. Some housekeeping as well, guys, to mention in terms of economic data. At 8:30 a.m., you get initial jobless claims in the Philly Fed Business Index. So lots to get into. We have tons of earnings as well, more SpaceX-related catalysts, tons to talk about. Once again, Sharif, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Good morning, guys. Lots to talk about today. Apple also in focus, not just with the Intel tie-up, but they will be increasing prices. Basically tried to hold out for as long as they could, but the price of RAM is what it is, especially with data center demand. So likely to be in the fall. We'll see exactly how aggressively they price that. SpaceX as well, a former PayPal colleague being added to the board, not wasting any time to kind of consolidate leadership there. SPCX in focus, Meta and Google both in focus as well, and Micron with a nice double upgrade today from Wedbush and I think Stiefel, up 4.5% here, and ACN Adara down 14% here on the back of a tough look.
Yeah, ACN certainly interesting. KR also with an earnings report, but let's talk while we're here, Sharif, about the Fed. Did you get to watch any of that press conference? What were your first thoughts here on new Fed Chair Kevin Warsh?
First thoughts are, if you want to know how he's going to govern, you need to take a deeper dive into the task forces, I should say, that he set up, because he's looking to overhaul how the Fed operates. And he's going to do that through an evidence-based approach. And this is why he's taking this task force kind of angle. So I'd like to see the outcomes of that, who heads them, and sort of what the product of their research is. And then we'll be able to understand, I think, the Fed a little more clearly, Adair, going forward.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. As he said, there will be a task force for that. So certainly one way, I think, as you mentioned, to look into how he's going to run the Fed. Let's see what these task forces bring us. And let's see how Sean and Neil are doing this morning. Sean is, in fact, back, and Neil's here with him. Good morning, guys.
Yo.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. The task force is back. I mean, it's just, I saw those task forces, and it's I don't know.
Hilarious. Okay.
It's different. I mean, that's
change.
fine. I think it's good. I mean, we did have Warsh yesterday, and it was relatively well received, I guess. I mean, the market did go to the downside, of course.
I was telling people it could have been worse.
Yeah.
It looked bad because we didn't move that much intraday, but we've seen far bigger moves. I think it was, the uncertainty with what we're going to get from the Fed in terms of their communication. We're not going to, if it's not about the dot plot, it's are you going to give us any idea of what you're thinking? And uncertainty might be not what the market likes, but we like it as traders. I think it'll increase a little bit of volatility for us. SpaceX had its first red day.
I think I could have a continuation.
I'm thinking continuation there.
I got to pay for some.
The other continuation is all of just Chipland.
Yeah.
Chiplandia right now. Because if you look at your quote boards, it's SpaceX down, but Intel, Marvell, MU, SanDisk, AMD, ARM, even SMCI, Broadcom, they're all 2 to 9%, all led by Intel, which is probably going to make some all-time highs. And that's right, TX Jets fan. The Wolf of Wall Street was a disappointment for us. But as we were saying before, it could have been a lot worse, and the fact that all the chips have gapped higher, the Qs are right back to normal.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, well, we put up a poll, and we let the viewers choose what the nickname, the nickname
for
we're going to give. The Wolf of Warsh Street, I guess.
Oh, the Wolf of Warsh Street. Oh, that's
so
good.
We had
yeah, that is a good one, actually. Who thought of that?
Well, there was a lot coming in from the viewers, so
that was a good one.
It might have been our TX Jets fan. I think it was you. But a lot of people were suggesting a lot of different ones. We just put it to a vote, and that's the one that won. We'll see. But, the other thing, remember, obviously tomorrow's a holiday, right? So tomorrow's a holiday. It's not Friday, but, right, it would be the third Friday tomorrow. So it is witching today. It is index rebalancing today. So it is today effective at the close. I mean, technically effective on the opening of trade on Monday that you'll have Marvell going into S&P 500. That's today. And it's the same thing with like Rocket Labs and the rest. I know it's a Thursday. I'll probably forget. And then when 350, when we're freaking out all the big imbalances, we'll remember right quick. So should be an interesting day with a little bit of extra volatility for that reason. And of course, like we said, the chips and Warsh. But yeah.
Post Malone was great.
Let us know, man.
Yeah,
Give us the review.
The review was really good. The sound is really great in that stadium. He played all the hits. Sharif's mentioned he heard it from his place. It's an outdoor, and it was really nice because it just started to rain like when we got back to our car.
Oh, perfect.
Like it was like savior there. But yeah, no, lots of fun and pretty. Almost sold out, I think. It was really great. Jelly Roll was pretty good. He was in the beginning. I wasn't too excited about him, but he had some hits I didn't realize for that. But yeah, a lot of fun. The wife and I went there. It was fun. It was good times there. We sat like in row 1, so there's nobody in front of us. Not the very front row, but one of the sections back. So it was really good. Yeah, it was fun. Good weather, good times. Yesterday was fun. Yesterday we rolled around. I was in full self-drive for the first time.
See, there it is.
That is like...
It's over.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. It was, the thing is I got bored though. Like you just tell it where to go and it just goes. Literally was sitting there just like this, letting it drive.
That's the point though.
And I put it into Mad Max mode. This thing was going 80 kilometers in a 60 zone. I was just like, I had to take it off immediately.
Well,
I'm like, bro, I'm test driving a car. It is speeding.
Well, that's
uncontrollably speeding.
Maybe that should be happening.
Yeah, because the guy's like, oh, chill mode is more like limo driver. The standard mode is normal. Then there's hurry mode. And then there's Mad Max mode. So I was like, that's easy. So I just selected Mad Max mode and we went into it. And it was the new one. So it's full self-driving hardware version 4.5. So yeah, Joe, like for everything that Joe wants it for, it's exactly what you would want.
That's what Joe wants.
I felt like I was my own Uber. Like literally, the guy just put in the address and it just drove to that address, and then it finds a parking spot, it parks into the spot for you. There was absolutely nothing to do with full self-driving. So I liked it, but I don't know. I told Marissa I feel like I would be bored. I think it'd be great for long trips. I think it'd be great for
the idea.
Because literally you don't even have to. You just sit there. I was that confident. I was only in it for 10 minutes, and whatever, just the test drive was maybe a half hour or something, and it was amazing. So everybody that's told me everything about full self-drive is 100%.
Here it is.
What I thought it would be.
The chat was...
It was on the highway, off the highway. It was committing crimes. It was over and over and over. It was wicked. And, but yeah, I was
committing minor traffic infractions, not crimes.
It was going 80 in a 60 zone.
Slightly more than minor.
Like that's kilometers too. Like that's 3 point. Yeah. Joe knows from experience.
Just take it off AI. It's not your fault. I didn't.
I've never. So this is true story. Like, and I drive a lot. I drive every single day. I've never gotten a speeding ticket, and I feel like I speed a little bit. So wouldn't that be hilarious if my very first ticket was while full self-drive was driving?
Actually, that would be pretty fun.
Yeah, so I had to take that off immediately. But yeah, what a great experience. Everybody was 100% right about it. I think it's going to be big for, even the Rivian's going to have autonomy at some point.
Yep.
And they're trying to come in at $50 a month. So I think $100 was reasonable. Oh, listen to this. So the sales lady, so we get back into the place, and the sales lady is talking to us, whatever. You buy everything online, so there's really not that much sales happening. But she just sat down, and we were in the premium version. We talked about like upgrading the performance. You get the tow and all this stuff. I'm not towing anything. And then so blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, you know what? And I told her, I was like, so I'm just kind of debating. I have a Rivian R2, a reservation, blah, blah. She goes, oh yeah, so do I. She said,
wait, what?
Maybe you shouldn't say that out loud. And I'm just like, she's like, oh yeah, I just bought a Model Y, but she has a reservation for a R2. So I'm like, okay, so, the sales lady was basically in the same boat as I was.
That's not what you would expect.
No, I was like, maybe you shouldn't be telling people that you have a reservation and potential buy for a direct competitor there. But the other thing I was worried about, though, which might make it easier to do the Model Y rather than wait, there's a fly in here?
Yeah.
Than the R2 is that the tariffs. because the R2s are coming in from USA.
Yeah.
So if Canada and US don't figure this out by like the next year,
They're gonna
it
cancel
could be
this.
25% more than you even think it is. The Model Ys are coming in from Berlin.
They get that now.
So you don't have to, and then they have the Model 3s coming in from China. So, you know, in here in Canada, that's a way that we've sort of circumvented some of the tariffs is by, you know, importing, and it's Tesla that's doing it, but importing the cars from other countries and not from the United States due to that. You know, I think it's 25% right now, or it's still up in the air what they're doing with all that. So anyways, yeah, that was exciting, and that was a fun thing for yesterday. And that's about, we had a few other things too. Oh, my son, we had like the transition meeting, whatever, from high school, from grade school to high school. So that was fun. That was yesterday. So we went in to see his teachers and everything. And
Transition meeting.
Well, it's just like, they just go over.
That's very formal.
Yeah, they just went over like, and the teacher was just like, oh, he's good at these courses and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know.
They didn't do that when we were kids.
I know.
It's like, no, you're going to high school, show up and figure it out. Transition meeting.
I said, oh yeah, my kid wants to do football, wants to be part of the football team. So then the guy emailed us the football training camp schedule, which starts in late August.
Yeah,
before school.
They don't mess around anymore.
Yeah, they start before school for the football training camp. So
get in there. What
anyways, you know, I don't know. Yesterday, I was throwing him some stuff. He was like catching things with one hand, but he's big. So I was thinking like maybe he has to be a tight end.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gronk.
But then I said he doesn't like really Taylor Swift, so he gives tight end. You know, is Travis Kelce. So he's got to figure out, you know, what position to play there. But
he'll be tight end.
I think he'll be a lineman at some.
So if the reason I immediately knew that I'd be a pass catcher. So we used to have like the trading floor had a dodgeball team.
Oh yeah, right.
And Sean
I was
like,
wearing that.
Sean
shirt
was
the
the
other
catch.
day.
It was the one that would make the catch.
Yeah, I would make the catches. Yeah.
So that was all about.
I
still have. I work out in my shirt.
I was gonna say.
I still have it.
I wore it the other day to one of the baseball practices. Because yeah, we still have those dogs. We should bring it in one day.
We want to ship.
It says like 2000 and it's like really old. It's like
Don't worry about the date.
Or
Don't worry about the year. We were the Toronto Division whatever intramural dodgeball champions.
Yeah.
Our trading floor, and we showed up to every single match with let's just say we threw a few back. Market would close at 4:00. These games wouldn't be till like 6:30 or 7 o'clock. We had to do something until the dodgeball game. And most of the time, it was hanging out at the bar.
Yeah, we weren't showing up at that bar with the most, you know.
Nobody liked playing us.
Straight intent or anything like that. But no, I love Taylor Swift. It was my son that does it. Mike Peter Ryder is loving Taylor Swift in the chat, by the way, here. Youngest artist ever to sign with Sony. She plays 15 instruments. Wow, I didn't know that many. I know she writes all of her stuff too.
15.
But yeah, no, Post Malone was great. He writes all his music too. That was a lot of fun. We had some great times with that. Randy, how's it going? What's breakfast up there? Are those strawberries?
Bacon.
Oh, bacon. Oh God. If anybody, thank you. Wow. If anybody wants
more
bacon,
dude.
if anyone wants bacon, you better go now because Randy might have just took half the bacon over there. What's going on over there, Randy? Oh, he's on the phone call now. I said Randy has the best desk here now. He's got a huge plant.
He's right in the corner.
It's all dark over there. He's got his monitors where no one can see
privacy.
it. He's got like everything's ready to go over there for Randy. So
we are ready to go as well. I think.
Yeah, are we?
Well, I hope so.
All right.
I'd like to think we're ready to go.
We're always ready for something.
There was a small
Where's my
capper that
sticky
was
notes?
running around that a few people were mentioning.
Oh.
But I don't know. I didn't love that volume. It was QRVO, I think it was.
Quavo?
No, not Corvo. No, it was something else.
Migos?
No, it wasn't Corvo. It was something else. You guys let me know. There was another small capper with a similar ticket that was running around. I was going to ask Sharif about, but all I know.
We had some stuff on our watch list. We had
no, the one on the watch.
The one on the watch list is
Which is
KARD.
CAST, which is one we've seen before. We've seen CAST go before, and it's
free cast.
yeah. We've seen CAST go. It's underneath.
Rumble.
Rumble
Rumble's
also
been
is
moving around
pulling
this
like a
morning.
little bit of a.
And what's this new IPO we
little
have
bit of a
here?
different change. Okay, the
Cardigan?
IPO today, Cardigan, is a biotech firm. So I know we get excited about IPOs, but remember, most of the time they were like, oh, take the opening print, all that kind of stuff. It's the space that it's in, the AI related, like that kind of a thing. In this particular case,
They're in the sweater game?
I don't know why a
it?
biopharma company would be called Cardigan.
I thought about it. They do cardio type stuff, so cardiovascular. So to me, it makes sense, but it's kind of weird.
But it starts with a K.
It's K, Cardigan with a K.
Cardigan with a K. Maybe it's the guy's last name. Something like that.
Still doesn't make sense.
Something like that. I don't have any. That's one piece of clothing I don't think I own as a cardigan.
Cardigan?
I don't know. Maybe I do. I have to check.
Need something warm. It's freezing.
Anyways, all right. Yeah, it is kind of freezing here. I ran up 5% as well. As we said, the chip space looking like it wants to rock and roll. All right, that's enough of us. Back to them.
Into this Cardigan thing, Sean, because I got really fascinated. I guess it's former executives from the drug developer Myocardia. Founding team, no one's name has a card in it, nor does anyone actually have a K in their name in a prominent way. So either way, that rant is over. Let's talk here about INTC, because this one is going on a rant to the upside. Intel getting some more praise from U.S. President Donald Trump, including teasing out an Apple deal here.
Yeah, this is interesting here. So the deal was only finalized, if you believe this report, after Ming-Chi Kuo leaked that Apple had actually done testing specifically on the 18AP process we spoke about yesterday. And they had exactly what they wanted. There was the mandatory yield validation that they required before the signing of the agreement. So if you believe the reports coming out from Ming-Chi Kuo, Apple's already tested it, they liked it, but it's not going to be on the 14A process that we spoke about. When we spoke yesterday, my position was that Apple was looking at the 14A node, not the 18A or 18AP. This states that they're looking at the 18AP. But also understated is Howard Lutnick's role in this deal. Apparently, if you believe some of the reports, he's been meeting with Tim Cook behind the scenes for over a year, and he's been pressuring him really hard, and he hasn't been shy to use the tariff button or the tariff weapon to sort of force Apple into this deal with Intel for domestic packaging. So we'll have to see how this entire thing ends up working out. But Intel will handle only the raw wafer fabrication domestically, because the advanced substrates still have to go back to Asia. So it's either going to go back to Taiwan or back to Malaysia and then come back to North America or China or India, depending on where the iPhone is going to be assembled, for assembly there. So part of the process is going to be done with Intel, reshipped to Asia, done there, finished there, and then goes to the final destination for assembly. Last but not least, a lot of people were trying to frame this as sort of a loss for Taiwan Semi. Somehow this was going to hurt Taiwan Semi. I'm going to take a bit of a different view here. Taiwan Semi's really been bogged down, having to kind of comply with Apple's, orders just because they're such a long-term client. But that is a lower margin product. They want to focus all their efforts on the Nvidias, the AMDs, because that's the higher margin product for AI data centers. So taking some of this sort of production capacity off Taiwan Semi's hand helps them focus on the product they make more money on. So good win for Intel, but I don't think it hurts Taiwan Semi.
How are you guys planning on playing this wider chip space today?
Yeah. Oh, to me? Okay. Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, no, I think, looking at, you're on the banana front. Yeah, this is a big move. This is now taking out all-time highs again here, right? 132.75 is actually the past all-time high, 132.75. So there goes Intel upside. The other thing about Intel is there's also, Lip Bhutan was talking about how they need, right now it's like 8 GPUs for every one PC or something is necessary, and then that's going to get down to 4 GPUs for every one PC. So the PC game has to grow into that market. So I think that already with the foundry being built in the United States, and then now with the rumor, or it probably is true, there with Apple and Intel, this tie-up again. It's funny that it comes from President Trump, who of course has that stake in Intel, south of or in and around $20. So now you're at 130 and taking out all-time highs. I think what it does wind up helping is that whole tariff issue. And if we're going to build in America again, and look, I don't know if the Republicans are going to win again. I don't know even if they don't win again, if policies start to change. We didn't get a great result from China when they visited over there, and Nvidia, they didn't come back with anything really, as far as I know anyways. And I feel like Nvidia is now still the big shiny piece in the box, in the toolbox there, the tool, but I don't know if it's going to have the movement that all these other names are getting. Like Intel, this America build first type of attitude just seems to be winning. To have been sat in, which sucks. Like I have 10 times the money in Nvidia than I do in Intel. And it's just kind of like, maybe it's not 10 times, but it's probably 5 or 6 times. And it just has done nothing. And right now, Nvidia is kind of doing nothing. So I do think that for today, you just look at Intel and you go long. I don't really see the reason not to try to support this bid. 130 has always been a key level. So for me, yeah, I mean, I haven't really sat down and started to write down some levels on this yet. Was waiting to see if there was anything else to drop, but it looks pretty good up here. I would say this is the name to play today, and why not just stay in the, I was going to say in the space, but I'm not talking in SpaceX, but stay in the right spot today. And I think Intel is really the only where you need to look.
Yeah, and I saw in the chat someone saying that, oh, well, what happens when you have a new administration? Like, will they still, will Apple keep Intel? Will they still be in favor? I think the whole notion of having production in the US, that is something that is going to be bipartisan, in my opinion. So I tend to think it will not be that big of a change. That said, today, because it is an all-time high, like right now it's back underneath the all-time high, because it already broke that pre-market, and I keep wanting to say it's a Friday, it's not, but it is the end of the week, and that means our expirations and all that. So I can see the dip buying maybe taking us into the 128. Like, that's the line for me. Like, you got closes, you got resistance down there, so resistance to support, I'll look to buy at 128, given the fact that you've already technically broken out that high. I'd be surprised if there wasn't some good options action today, and we're going to get a sneak peek, let's call it.
Would that be Joe over there on the screen over there with options?
It looks like him.
How was Joe yesterday? Was he good? He was all day. All day Joe, man. All day Joe is just, and he's back on the board today. So we're really happy to have Joe, with Sharif this midday show, and then we'll be kicking it out. And then tomorrow, no show.
Tomorrow we'll be chilling.
Joe will still be here. There'll be options tomorrow.
Well, the lunch will be here tomorrow. Yeah, apparently.
Joe. Yeah. Well, we're gonna go live tomorrow just from 8:20 to like 8:25 for the calls, and then then we'll come back like 8:40 for the upgrades and downgrades. And but let's not miss it for today. Joe, tell us what we're looking at here.
We're looking at some Robinhood options here, guys. Yes, no session tomorrow, don't forget. So make sure you don't show up in the chat because we will not be here. But other than that, guys, I hope everyone has a fantastic Juneteenth holiday. Don't forget, you will be seeing Sharif and I 11 a.m. sharp from 11 to 2 p.m. here today, guys. All right, let's get into some of the options activity. And we're going to be looking at a name that at its peak was up 13% on the intraday session. Robinhood is going to be that ticker, guys. Open interest around 13,700, and then we have volume at 64,100 there. But what I really want us to focus on is that this contract, the spread is $3, right? So that's relatively tight for a $110 name, and it was in the top 10 for volume, complete volume within the underlying asset. Now, there's a lot of weird activity going on the options chain that I want us to focus on, and that's going to be north of $110. Now, this may be broker error, but I was checking multiple sources, and what I seen was fishy from an open interest standpoint expiring this week. Now, typically we see open interest in something this liquid within the thousands and tens of thousands, but through 111 all the way up to 113, it was literally single and double digit open interest, which is very small and something weird going on. Maybe broker error once again, but let's keep an eye out for a move potentially today into $115 or maybe even at some point next week, all right? Moving forward, guys, we're gonna take a look at our delta metric sitting on that $19 delta, or our 20 delta. So what is this telling us? For every $1 change, you're gonna see a $20 change within the actual options contracting, and then your gamma will be added on top of that. Now, as for our at-the-money IV, 92.6%, a big move yesterday, once again, 13% to the top side. You're going to see increase in implied volatility moving forward. Now, if you just so happen to buy Robinhood right out of the gate yesterday, well, congratulations, 2,868% on that specific contract, going from $10 all the way to a high of around $280. But don't forget, guys, near the end of this session, it proceeds to lose more than 80% of the value of its contracts. So theta and the cooling in volatility will definitely have a drastic effect on those specific options contracts. Moving forward, guys, let's take a look at Meta. Oh no, where are we going to find a potential floor here, Sharif? Open interest at that $560 marker, 5,666 open contracts at that zone. Let's see if that support level can hold up for us here. And then volume around 3,700 contracts open and closed on yesterday's session. Once again, that is going to be expiring today, and we're sitting on roughly around a $14 spread. Now, as for our delta, $29 there. So for every $1 move to the sell side, you're going to see a $30 change within that specific contracting, and then a $2 gamma, and an at-the-money IV sitting at 45%. Relatively cool for this name. Now, I want us to focus on the contract once again. We're going to go from Friday, March 27th to yesterday's session, and this contract at one point was worth $6,100, now worth $243, losing 96% of the contract's value. Moving forward, let's take a look at JP Morgan. Running into all-time highs yesterday, guys. You know we like this specific name. Strike price $340, expiring today. Now, a nice move within the contract pricing itself. Just like Robinhood, it does proceed to lose the majority of its value. Now, open interest sitting around 5,700 and volume at 5,000. Bid in the ask, not too heavy, right? Like a $7 spread, but it's typically not the most liquid of underlyings. I brought this one to us because it has been lagging some of its banking peers, the Morgan Stanley and the Goldman Sachs. So it's good to see JP Morgan hit all-time highs. Now, as for our delta, relatively cool, and our at-the-money IV, 29.7%. That's around average for the financial sector. Now, as for the contract itself, if you just so happen to buy JP Morgan on the close yesterday, or on the close on Tuesday, and then it opens up on Wednesday, congratulations, 330%, but then proceeds to lose more value after that. So down about 93% off of the highs, when JP Morgan only fell a couple of percentage points off of that high. So that's JPM, that's Robinhood, and Meta, guys. Let's see if we can find some tops and some bottoms. Let's send it back to Neil and Sean.
Thanks, Joe. The options look. Hey, the first one, that was a little bit of a spicy meatball, that Robinhood yesterday. And you can tell by the dark 200 period moving average line, that's Robinhood, and it's above it for the first time in quite a while. Yeah, beginning of the year, literally at the beginning of the year in January, it rolled over. But today, I think you look back at that as it's a prior high and support, like 102 area. Like if we get any dipping, and I'm treating, remember, we're treating today like a Friday, right? So it's like a Friday, expirations. I think you can have some gravity towards some of the bigger strikes. If you lose 105, I think that prior high in here comes into play for sure in Robinhood, which is like the continuation. It was a bit, I don't know about chasing it up to the top. And one of the things Joe was saying in the afternoon shows, there wasn't a lot in the way of that 111 to 113 level, but it's still rejected at 111. So I'm thinking maybe a dip into that 100 to 102 area today for Robinhood. And we say it, I took a glance to see next week. So everyone knows SpaceX is getting added to everything. It's going into the NASDAQ. That'll be like a little bit of buying here or there, the Russell. MSCI is adding it. It is next Friday, SpaceX is going to be 22 million shares to buy at the close. That is, like, these numbers are, and that's a $185 stock. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting one today with Marvell. It'll be even more interesting with SpaceX. We're going to start looking for any jolts at the close on SpaceX, and any imbalances. There are going to be some trades, I think.
Yeah, I think that we've seen it so many times where these imbalances have hit, and then, you know, they're just kind of creating like a false bid there. So I think if you're looking to short something, maybe, you know, get some shorts into that number or vice versa. I just so I posted this up. This is a picture. You know, the wife and I, we went over there to the concert here. And there are some really nice comments. I mean, thank you to everybody over here. Let's go. Well done. Yeah, this is an important one here. You're living proof there's more than just trading. I mean, I think that's true. Oh, and then he also talks about home of the 2-time world champion Dodgers. Maybe I should unlike that comment right there. What's up to Jim right there? And then outdoor concert gangster. Yeah, but this part's funny here. I didn't see this. Cody messaging me here saying, what exactly is this? I'm sure it's a plane or some sort of a drone, but maybe there is some UFOs in our space right now. So that was really fun that Cody was able to
zoom back in on that.
Well, it's just here. I don't know. He just said, I don't know what.
That's tough.
I can't really zoom. It's not letting me go in any more than that, but there it is right there.
Yeah, I think it's probably a drone.
I don't know what that is, but yeah, he was just saying that. And, oh wow, that's quite now. Yeah, I think it's a drone. So this was the original picture, and then of course he spotted that right there. So I don't know what that is there, but yeah, the Chinese are forever watching us here, even in lovely Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So all right, let's go back. It's 8:30. We've got numbers.
We do, in fact, have some numbers. Initial jobless claims coming in at 226,000, above the forecast of 225,000, and below the prior print here of 229,000. Philly Fed Business Index here, manufacturing index, coming in at 10.3, so slightly above the forecast of 10, well above the prior print of negative 0.4. Continued jobless claims 1.81 million versus the forecast of 1.789 million. Market not reacting too much to this. Looks like we had slight spikes higher and lower here on the S&P 500. While we have you, a couple other stories to mention that we're not going to get to in the rundown, but are certainly worth addressing. And as always, on our Trader TV Live watch list, let's talk Pfizer. PFE to the downside, announcing a CFO transition to take place later this year.
Yeah, Dara, Dave Denton, he's been with the company since May of 2022. He's going to be stepping down August 15th. Looks as if the position is going to be filled by Cecil Gugan, who's currently Senior Vice President of Finance for its global pharmaceutical business. So look out for that change.
Another name to watch out for, I know that a lot of people keep an eye on here. We've got some more deals being signed here for Oklo, this nuclear play. Good look for this one so far.
Absolutely. Centrus Energy is going to supply them with nuclear fuel for their upcoming clean energy development campus in Ohio. It's set to start in 2029, and it's going to run for multiple years. Looks as if they're going to be planning here a 1.2 gigawatt clean energy facility, Dara, nearby.
Yeah, lots of these stories here on Watch. But as far as we can, if you just go back to the market here, it doesn't look like we had too much of a reaction on these jobless numbers. Has this data reaction changed how you guys are approaching the open?
No, I don't think so. We basically came more or less as expected. So I'll call it a nothing burger. Anytime we have a Fed day, you're going to want to pay attention to support and resistance on those days. And looking at the Qs, I know the SPY didn't do this, so the S&P didn't actually get to the morning high, but there was a very distinct triple top in the morning that ended up being a clear top in the market. And that's 735 half here on the Qs. Oh, reminder, if you're looking at the futures, be sure you should now be on the U contract if you're looking at the NASDAQ or the ES. Obviously, again, it's not Friday, but this is the week that the contracts roll over. And if you're looking at the old one, it's not doing any volume anyways, relatively speaking. But yeah, I think we just forget about the data for now, because we got pretty much as expected, and then go right back into, previously scheduled. Like, I'm not changing anything on the note. I'm looking at the same things as well. And just because many have mentioned it in the chat, I see you. We see bird. Oh shoot, what are we supposed to call all birds now? What's the new name? Smart Bird?
Bird AI?
No, they changed their name. So yesterday, the stock went from $4 to $6.50 because they changed their name to Smart Bird, because they're now an AI company. And I forgot to wear my Allbirds today. The problem with them is it gets raining today, and they're not really a great shoe for in the rain, in my opinion. I said if it was up, I was going to wear them. I'm like, nah, it was pouring rain this morning, so I didn't wear the Allbirds. But yeah, so this is riding VWAP. It's holding some strength. You probably, for the small cap traders, like usually if it's not going to break the high in the pre-market, you're going to look for some kind of a dip. But some of that support was at about 560 to 580 in the afternoon, which obviously got lost after the Fed, but that's the Fed thing. So look for that for potential support for Smart Bird. And I'll say it with that emphasis, because I'll probably forget the name of this company or the new name by like 12 o'clock.
Yeah, no, you'll remember it. Don't worry about that. Yeah, it's not. You're not that old yet. We do have 6% up for Marvell. I mean, you guys were talking about it. We were talking about the additions here. Yeah, I mean, I think you play it long. I don't. I mean, you're obviously getting again a U.S. company, and I just wrote down here on the list Intel obviously is the #1 trade idea. I just think this build in the USA, this USA momentum, is here for as long as this administration is talking. I think USA is going to be top, and Marvell is one of those names where you're getting a bump up today. I would assume because of this Intel news as well, but because of that addition, so it's just going to be hopefully a great trade at the end of the day, but I think we can always watch out. This is 200 period moving average down there at 301. We'll see if that wants to hold. I don't like the fact that we're sort of underneath VWAP right now, but there's still a lot of potential here with Marvell today. I don't think we need to go crazy and trade it right off the jump, but if there's a bid, we know that there's going to be some buyers coming in late day. Whether or not it holds or not at on 350 when those imbalances hit, we'll expect to see some pretty rapid movement in Marvell, but I would just try to support the bid as much as we can today, and if we're wrong, we lose it immediately and we get out. So if Marvell can come back into this 300 to 302 area where there's some potential support, I think there might be something there. I mean, yesterday we didn't get going until we did, and the little bit of a fall off, and then now we're right back into here. So that's we're sort of opening at yesterday's peak, and it's all pre-Fed. Right? I mean, we were sort of ramping up there into the Fed, then we had this drop down. So I just think that now that everyone's sort of absorbed, we're going to have Mitch on in a minute, but we'll hear what he thinks about the Fed maybe and how some of these stocks have reacted to it. But Marvell was cruising, and then whoosh, the whoosh on the Warsh. So that happened right there. And now you got to wait for 300 again, which doesn't look like it's that key, but I'm going to look at Marvell today. Anything around this 300 to 302 marker will get me interested in MRVL. We teased it a little bit there. It's 836. Trade the Pool's very own. It's Mitch. We're going to go back over to the desk. We're going to hear what he has to talk about leading into what's going to be a shortened week.
Yep.
Money Mitch is back. It's Mitch Hoke here with Trade the Pool. Thank you so much for being here with us today. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to get after this market. Like always, there's always going to be a little bit of a shakeup, and yesterday's big shakeup, of course, a dove turned out maybe a hawk. And I think one of the biggest things is the kind of choice of word choice, right? Inflation is a choice. Things like this, and thinking that, hey, it's been the Fed essentially that has adjusted to inflation, and he's trying to turn things around, trying to be forward looking, right? The biggest thing, do we go to this huge, 18 years of quantitative easing into quantitative tightening? Right? That's going to be the big thing to look at here. And that was a big shift with the dot plot change.
I understand you have a couple different themes you want to talk about today in terms of what you're looking at for the market. Let's get right into it, starting with semiconductors. What's on your radar in terms of thematic changes, and what stocks are you looking at?
Yeah, so what you want to be looking at yesterday, of course, is what we're looking at is what was strong yesterday before the Fed came on, right? If you look at the overall change, there were still stocks that were riding up, right? Of course, stocks like AVGO had a nice lift that were in nice sideways consolidation, actually had just undercut the 50 moving average. You had Micron up 6%, you had AMAT, you had ARM. So stick with the winners from yesterday early on, right? That's what I would be looking for, right? Relative strength on a day like yesterday is a really good sign that it could stay strong today. One stock we're clearly seeing already get the move is Intel. Of course, Trump support helping here, but this was a trade that I was already going to keep watch. Why? Because it was strong names, and what we're looking for is the adjustment from TSMC. Really, that's what's happening here, right? There's a supply that's needed to meet here, and TSMC can't do it all. So Intel knows that they have a massive opportunity. Trump knows he has a massive opportunity to push domestic chip building. So Apple is making that shift. Look for more companies to continue going towards it. And a lot of it is what Intel just released just the day prior, right? About the 18A process, right? Once they start to get that down packed, that's what's going to be the push to get other chip makers to go straight to Intel. This is why you're seeing Tesla go to Intel. This is why you're going to see more companies combine with Intel. And it's not a throwaway against like TSMC. It's just the supply of chips that are needed, right? It's the next step in the chain, right? If we're freaking out about memory chips, we freaked out about GPUs. Well, guess what? Now we're gonna freak out about CPUs. So if you wanted to build a computer, go ahead and buy those right now, because it might be going up in price.
Let's talk about another AI-related theme here, specifically these energy plays related to data centers. I understand GEV and CEG are on watch for you.
Oh, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to go with the leader, GEV. That's going to be your top of breed. And also you can throw in Bloom Energy. I would just put those two together. Bloom Energy looks like it wants to take 300. And my question is, will we see it take 500, right? And so at this point, you look to see others start to play, right? GEV just broke above that 1,000. So look for it to start working above that and holding that on any pullback. And then you'll look to see names like CEG start to make a move. You'll see VST make a move, right? You got NRG, you got so many names in this space, like even speculative names like FLNC that I was talking about just a couple weeks ago at like $13, now trading in the high 20s, right? And then you got other speculative names that can move off of that, right? Fuel cell names like FCEL. Yes, it's speculative for sure. But at the end of the day, when the big boys make the move, the little fish start to climb.
Well, speaking of, I guess, moves happening, I know you want to talk here about some of these cyclical plays and plays that are maybe a little bit contrarian. So what are your thoughts on some of these types of stocks right now?
Yeah, I mean, what you want to be looking for is just looking around at the different type of plays that we have, right? There's shorts. Shorts, you're looking at the energy unwind. I still think these energy names are really good targets, right? Like an XOM, a Chevron, names that have been hanging high, right? These are names that are going to just continue to be what? Dead cat bounces, right? When we get those little pops, those are your opportunities. It's not chasing the down action, but actually waiting for the pops and looking for what? Prior support to become that resistance. Clearly, you can see that on majority of those energy charts. But there's other plays, right? You can see them on here. We could also shift over to kind of the industrial play. Of course, SpaceX falls in the industrial basket. Don't forget, right? It's not a tech name. It goes into the industrial basket. It goes into defense and aerospace. And that's why you're seeing all these names continue to push. And they were starting to push yesterday. So at first, I think there was a clear buying of course, SpaceX right out the gates. And that was a shift away from certain space names because the XLI, right, kind of just a nice ETF effect, right, kind of playing in. But now you might see that actually create more gas power. As the XLI, it looks like it wants to break out. Of course, SpaceX will eventually probably be the leader in the XLI, right? And then now you'll start to see other leaders continue making the move. GE is making a nice move. Caterpillar is making a nice move. And then you can just start playing off of that, right? There's so many plays off of that. You got you can go ETN. I've been long for 4 or 5 days looking for a nice move on that, but that's energy plays combining with this, right? You can look at Deere to break the 600. It just went to 598. It's been building a nice 600 breakout. I'm looking for that industrial rally also here. So I want to go back to the plays that were also doing good at the beginning part of the year, right? Which was that hardware building data center industrial plays. Even you could look at construction plays like FIX, man. I'm telling you, the plays out there are just, the list is endless, but what you want to be doing is continuing with this strength. In tech right now, it's a lot of tug of war where one area will just pull up that day and then the other area pulls down. This is why you see software up. And when you see software up, what do you usually see? You see those hardware names on the bottom end, right? So it's just a tug of war in tech. So you can clearly see that usually early on in the day. So look for that action today to see if we go right back to the AI names and start to climb again. And then energy trades are definitely the ones that combine with this because now it's all about getting these data centers up fast. So I'm watching names like that. I love TLN because it continues to build with AWS. And I mean, we all know how AWS is going to continue to develop.
Lots to look at there, and thank you so much for going over all of that for us. Mitch, can you tease anything that Trade the Pool is doing right now, anything that the people should know about?
Well, it starts like this. Oh, go! we're yelling goal in the Trading World Championship, of course. We're doing predictions. We're doing a tournament right now. And, of course, we're going to eventually go to a one-on-one battle. It's actually brought multiple brands together. So I really love this competition. Don't miss the one-on-one competitions. Those will be coming up. And you can also do your own little predictions and be winning accounts. So for you guys out there that might be little sports fans, and my pick, definitely Germany for the World Cup. Just want to say that. I have German descent. I actually have German citizenship, and I like my dual citizenship. Don't tell anybody. But we'll keep looking for Germany to win. And you guys could be winning, of course, with the Trading World Championships going on right now at Trade the Pool.
Definitely check out that Trading World Championship. Thanks again to Mitch Hoke, Money Mitch over at Trade the Pool for being here with us today.
Get after it, traders. Go make that money, guys. And don't forget lithium. Lithium needed for everything in the AI trade. And solar is getting forgotten here. And I said energy, right? Watch for FSLR. You got to go best of breed there. But we'll be looking for a turnaround. We'll see what happens.
We will. Thanks again, Mitch.
Take care.
All right, fantastic stuff as always. Make sure you go and check out the Trading World Championship, guys. Let's take a look at some of the analyst actions here this morning. We're going to kick things off with some downgrades. Into it at the top of the list, we're down 1.5% here today, guys, going from a buy to a hold and a $275 price target. That's down from $375 by Stifel. And then we have FactSet also getting the downgrade, guys, going from a neutral to a sell and a $215 price target. That's down from $291. Rothschild giving them that downgrade. We're down approximately 1.4% this morning. Now, Netflix hitting new lows, guys. We're down a little bit less than a 10% here, going from a neutral to an underweight here. No specific price target by Goldman Sachs. And then we have Jefferies Financial going from a buy to a neutral, and we're down about 0.8% here, but we're increasing our price target to $67. That's coming up from $59 at UBS. Now, to look at some more positive things, Salesforce getting the nod here today, guys, going from a neutral to a buy with a $200 price target. We're down about 0.8%. Now we have Enphase getting the nod. We're about 4.25 here, going from an underweight to an equal weight here, and a price target increase to $50. That's up from $31 from Barclays. Now American Express getting the nod as well, too, guys. 0.6% to the north side, going from a hold to a buy and a $375 price target. DZ Bank giving them the upgrade. Now CME Group, Chicago here, Sharif. We're up about 0.1%, going from a market perform to outperform and a $305 price target. Let's send it back to Neil and Sean.
Thanks, Joe. An upgrade for Salesforce coming on the heels of 12 down days in a row. I don't think I remember. I mean, it's been bad for Salesforce, but 12 in a row seems like a lot. Probably, I mean, I don't know if it's a record, but it's probably a record. $150.
Wow.
It's crazy when you think about just like the damage that's been done to this name and other software names too. Like it's not to pick on Salesforce, but what are you gonna do? Salesforce is the one that got the upgrade here. Maybe there's something if it even sees close to 150 today. The upgrade doesn't really matter so much, but like 12 in a row, then you get the end of the week, and of course today being the end of the week and the options expiration, but man, that's much worse than I would have anticipated. I think the thing to keep in mind when you're looking at Salesforce or any other software names is you had a very, very good bounce in the IGV. And as that comes back in, the names, we were talking about this last week, it's like the names that didn't participate in the bounce or that barely even went, those are the ones that you've got to be the most concerned about. And Salesforce is just right smack dab in the middle of it. And IGV is actually losing the 50 period today. So as Mitch was even talking about, you get software down, we know what's going up. So you're really just waiting. You're just really waiting for a slowdown so that these guys can get picked back up, and maybe that's what will get Salesforce off the schneid. But I think you're much better either just finding one of the strong names in the group or just going with the IGV yourself and waiting for this to catch a bit of a bid because Salesforce gets ugly. Like that's 12 days in a row.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you're going to get that relief rally, and I think that at some point.
Exactly. There almost has to be one, but like, good luck knowing when it's going to be.
Yeah, it's too bad it's good. It's too bad that it's good, yeah. I was thinking about, Mitch mentioned a little bit there at the beginning about AWS, and I just think as we talk more about computing power and, where everyone's going to be going for that, I think Amazon and their AWS there, and even their chip game, and, some of the U.S. focused businesses here, Amazon. I mean, most of the megs have, all the Meg 7 names are U.S., but it's just Amazon right here, building out, nationwide, all over. They have that great shipping now program that they have as well. So forget about just AWS, but they also have Prime Day coming through, and they're at the 200 period moving average. So this is part of the game, right now, is trying to find names that are potentially thrown to the curb a little bit. And you want to talk about what's been happening with CRM. It's not unfamiliar territory here for Amazon either. This seems like if you don't have this one update 3 days ago right there, then Amazon is probably down into 225 with only 2 green days over the last 3 weeks. Like 2 green days in 3 weeks, that's not great for Amazon, right? And so you get that one gap up right there, that saved it. But now you're right back into the sort of the belly of the beast here, because if you don't hold in and around this 230, then I do think we maybe go back into this 205, 210 area. So I'm going to be watching out for Amazon here. It's nice to see it's up today, but this is another name that I think is probably a couple upgrades away from getting back up here. So just remember, at some point, analysts start looking at these things and they're like, wow, okay, this is too far off of its 52-week high based on where we think this is going. You'll start to get some good positive news stories out, and then Amazon does have the ability to get up there. Like if tomorrow it's not tomorrow, but if Monday it's at 250, wouldn't surprise me, and then all this garbage is out of there and you wish you had maybe picked something up down here. So if you are a little light on Amazon, then you might want to look out for that, possibly picking some more up at the 200 period moving average. And then we just talked about software, and like CRM is, and I'm just using that because we always hate on it, but Microsoft, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 12 to 2. So there's 2 green days here, and I'm not even sure this should be one. I guess if we close there, then it should be. But there we go. And then the very next day, gaps lower. And then I included this little day right here as one of the 2 green days that we've seen in the last 12. So look what happened here. Nice little gap up, flush. Nice little gap up, flush. So, there's a lot of value to be picked up here, I would think, in these mega cap names. I mean, it's just unbelievable how hated they are and how loved some of the other names are that are playing pickup, like the Intels, the AMDs of the world. And then we got some new names that have just recently been hitting, like all those power names. CEG's on a downside, but today we get IREN up a couple points. So there's many different things to look at. It's amazing how much these have been thrown away. Like Microsoft, I've been sitting in this name my whole life. It's all the way back to where it was last year. So you've wasted a whole year of your life sitting in Microsoft with no dividend, nothing going on here. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's 10 cents a share. I don't know what the dividend is, but you're not getting anything significant here, and you've just wasted a year of your life on investing with Microsoft. So that's a problem, I would say, for many accounts. And it's amazing about how much Microsoft is in all of these exchanges, yet the NASDAQ, S&P 500, and all that are basically at all-time highs without even the leaders.
Exactly.
So there's been a good, broadening out of the breadth of this market, and it includes names like a Caterpillar and, other names like UNH and different names that continue to work despite having downdrafts in names like Apple, and we just showed you Amazon and Microsoft, and so there's UNH, just blasting to the upside as well, and some of the other names we've already talked about them, but the different spaces, the Eli Lillys of this world, the Caterpillars, John Deere's, and names like that are in the Dow that continue to go. And then what about bank stocks?
Banks, I was going to say,
I was going to say like JP Morgan's at 335 right now. New all-time highs for JP Morgan.
That's how bull markets work, man.
Yep, exactly.
They're able to. They're just able to do it. That's the glorious thing about it. There's always, you just follow where the ball or the puck is headed, I suppose. But I guess it's the World Cup, so we can say you want to go to where the ball is headed, and we hope that Canada will do that today, because that's who We want to win. I'm Canadian. I want Canada to win.
They're today.
They're today. We play Qatar today, so we'll see how that one. 6 o'clock.
The 56th ranked Qatar?
Yeah, 6. It's like 6. Yeah, 6 o'clock. So we're playing aftermarket, which is good.
Because it's in Vancouver, so.
We should be able to, whatever. Knock on wood. But no, I think it's a really.
Imagine we don't win.
I think it's an actual opportunity at some point we're talking about in those software names. I just feel as if, and just to end the thought and then we'll move on, I just really feel like you want to make sure you're picking the best names if you can. If you're trying to dip by in a group that's getting beleaguered, you can at least do yourself the favor and maybe think of either not trying to be perfect in getting into an ETF or just you're going with the best of breed. And again, it's not to dump on CRM. There's lots out there. Because I saw some saying, some people are saying ServiceNow, like that's an opportunity. And anytime you see things that are ridiculously depressed, people are always going to first think, what's the crazy opportunity that you could have? You had a chance to ring Reggie on, if you were in ServiceNow, 100 to 135. Give 35% in a week and a half. And in a couple weeks, it's now red if you bought that breakout on ServiceNow. That's the definition of not good. Like that's an unhealthy stock right now, and it's an entire group which looks a little bit unhealthy. And you don't have to. There's, like Sean was saying, there's too many things that are strong, so you don't necessarily need to be dying. The strong names can be propping up the hold, which is absolutely fine. But if you're in looking for short-term swings, it's a lot easier to ride trends if you're doing things in a shorter duration than it is to try to pick bottoms. Right? We might get a chance to dip by on Micron next week after their earnings. So that could be another opportunity out there, probably making all-time highs again today. Now let's head back on up to the desk. It's 8:55. We've covered a lot. It is a witching Thursday, which we have to keep reminding everybody. So we might see some interesting imbalances, even in the morning on a witching day.
Yep.
There's some big NASDAQ ads again here, guys. Astera Labs, Rocket Labs, so two lab-related names here. Nebius, CoreWeave, Teradyne, all joining the index. Charter Communication and Cognizant among the names getting removed from the NASDAQ, and then, of course, Marvell joining the SPY. So lots to watch out for. Here's a name that's certainly on both the SPY and the NASDAQ, and we touched on earlier in a different story. Apple here. You had an interview with Tim Cook and the Wall Street Journal suggesting there could be some price increases.
Absolutely, Adira, calling it unavoidable, basically blaming the hyperscalers for what he is terming a complete breakdown in the global supply chain when it comes to these wafers and chips. Let's talk about some of the practical applications of this announcement. So research firm Tech Insights, they've already run the math. They're holding basically Apple to their current margins, and based upon that, they're predicting a $280 US price increase for the iPhone 18 Pro, not the Pro Max, not the 18, the 18 Pro. Now, previous sources that I had read from indicated that Apple was going to try to assuage some of the price increases, or not the price increases, but the component increases by pushing a lot of their customers into their more expensive devices. So we'll see if they successfully navigate that. But this is an interesting timing for this announcement. And the reason I say that is we've got an incoming CEO, right, John Ternus. However, it's the outgoing CEO who's making this announcement. And strategically placed or timed this announcement is because they didn't want Ternus to be viewed negatively having made this announcement. So let's just put, Timmy C, he's on the way out. He's going to be on the board. We're going to get him to make this announcement. We're going to kind of shield Ternus so that he's squeaky clean. But Apple has already been doing this. We've seen them cancel certain sort of categories of the Mac Mini, the cheaper versions, and pushing customers into the more expensive versions. The reason is, of course, because component costs are increasing. But I also want to say, Tim was pretty quick to want to blame this on the hyperscalers. But there's also other issues. The Middle East was really hurting a lot of these chip producers. The helium that they tried to get their hands on wasn't coming out of the Middle East, and that really put production times back. Last but not least, there's another issue that we spoke about, which is SK Hynix, Micron, Samsung. They make RAM, of course, for the hyperscalers as well as the mobile device makers. But those are not the two same types of RAM. So NAND, or HBM, let's call it that, that's for data centers. That's a bigger and a higher margin product for these RAM makers. They don't necessarily want to commit production capacity for a lower margin product for cell phones. So this creates kind of this strain that we've been seeing where they're trying to please a huge customer like Apple. At the same time, they're trying to protect their margins and the interests of their shareholders by going after the higher margin product today.
Yeah, lots to unpack there for AAPL. Is there anything cooking on this chart for you guys today?
Yeah, the 50 period on the daily, and it'll be the I use an SMA. Someone asked in the chat, like, why don't you use an EMA? Well, because I've used SMA for a longer time, and I use it on the higher time frame, which it's a bit of a standard on that. Like, Apple's going to be able to somewhat successfully pass on price increases. There will be some concerns about margin, but the good news is, for every sale, that just expands their services, right? And that's where the best margins are going to be, and they've seen continued growth there. If you start to see a slowdown in services, then I think you get a little bit concerned with Apple. Up and until that happens, I think you're more of a stay the course. For today, I mean, you can look at, with the exception of one day, every time it's dipped into the 50 SMA on the daily in the last week and a half, it's been some kind of a buy. And a lot of that's been in and around the 290 area, as you can see. Like, ignore that dark pool way, but it's been in and around the 290 area. So I doubt you get there today. Like, if we were trading a little bit closer, probably would have put it on the notes, be like, yeah, go dip buying at 290. But I see it as a highly unlikely we see that price. If it happens, that's where I would look for the support. Certainly next week. Because if it's maybe a couple of days away, if we were to pull back from that level, then it could be something we're looking at on Monday or Tuesday on Apple. But that 50 period has been a nice place. Obviously, it's a good place in the long term to pick up stocks, but I'm just talking about the support there right now. If we get down there, I'd be looking for a dip on Apple. It's just one of the safer mag names. If not, if not the safest. I say safer, but if not the safest.
Look, here we go. I'll need to show this up here. We talked about this before, and I like Apple. Every single Mag 7 name, I think we can, all 5 of us, 6 of us here, can easily try to go over bull and bear cases pretty much for, all 7 of these names. And it's just a matter of where do you think you want your money in if you're going to pick and choose one of those 7 names. I mean, I love what Apple's trying to do right now. I think Neil's right. They can pass on that cost to like yesterday, my son's graduating grade 8. Obviously, it's not a huge accomplishment. Well, whatever. I don't want to say that.
It is.
Okay, it's accomplishment. Yeah, I mean, look,
it's
a milestone.
Life milestones, that's the word.
So I was talking about that being at his meeting yesterday, and he's definitely not taking after me. I was told that he's one of the best math and science kids in his grade. So that's nothing to do with me. I used to cheat off our friend on math, so I don't know about that one. Shout out to my friend named Amar. Who I used to sit beside there.
He was my dude in biology.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, I never cheated off him. What was I talking about? But anyways, I was looking at a new laptop for him, and I just went right to the used market, but still went to looking at Apple products, and I think my eldest son uses MacBook, and I think there's a lot of people that are now, looking at those Mac Minis. There's Mac as a computer. There's those MacBook Neos now that I just checked out here in Costco. They're $788. That's Canadian, so that's it's going to be probably $500 US. Still probably too much for what they are, but at the end of the day, I think they're better than Chromebooks. But anyway, okay, it doesn't matter. What I was getting at here is that you're at the 200 period right now with this Mag 7 ETF. It's a round hill ETF, so if you don't want to pay the 1 or 2%, whatever the management fee is, and I shouldn't quote what that is because I don't know, but if you don't want to pay an ETF fee like that, you can do it yourself. But this has come from 71 down to $64. So essentially, it's a 10% move down. And what you're going to do is it's all 7 of them, 16% each. So if you wanted to sort of, wag your finger at them and say, bad Tesla or Meta or whatever, right? You get them all wrapped up right here into one. And I think that we've held pretty good here into this 200 period moving average. So this is an ETF for just the Mag 7. So if you wanted to think that they've been getting beat up a little bit, which I think they have been, and the quote is true. So you got to watch out for potential downside continuation. But if you're talking about trying to invest in something now, these are going to be solid names for a very, very long time. So if you got a little bit of money to work and you don't want to put it in the NASDAQ or the S&P 500, maybe they're too diversified for you, and you really do think that these 7 names are going to start to go from here, then I think, I mean, look at Tesla, where that price is, right? Look where Google is. Look where, we just showed you where Amazon was. All of these names, even, I mean, Nvidia being involved, right? I mean, that's down huge too. That's down to, was that what, 203 yesterday or something? So you're right back at these levels as well here. So without having to do too much work, you can pick some of these ETFs that are simply isolated to those 7 names. So that was, I just wanted to bring that up because sometimes we don't talk about it, and we talk about the NASDAQ only, and I was talking about the breadth of the market. So, you know, definitely stay in your lane, and if you do like the Mag 7, you can get some of that. And there's other ETFs too. You know, there's something called Momentum, and there's a whole bunch of different ETFs. So I would just say Mags is a pretty safe one that you can get your money into and sleep at night knowing that at least you got some protection as it's divided by 7. So, all right, that's enough of that talk. We do have a great watch list today. I mean, it's going to be, go ahead.
Before we get to it, this is not on the watch list, but it's going to be on your watch right now. QuantumScape announces agreement with Honda on solid-state battery technology. As you can see, it is now up 20%, which it wasn't before. What's the float on QuantumScape? Let me just double check. It's not, forget about the float. Float's big enough. 17.5% short float. That's what will be more interesting. So it still has a pretty decent short float here for QuantumScape. Obviously a pretty good piece of news for them. Hey, it's actually room on this one. If you're a gapper trader or small or micro or mini caps or medium, whatever it might be, this could be in your wheelhouse today. So deal with Honda, QuantumScape doing pretty good volume, everybody, but it's past 9, so we'll see what else is on the free watch list that anybody can get from us. Let's go back up to the desk.
739, guys, is where we closed out on the SPY yesterday. So we did end up getting that micro flat bottom break through 750. We spoke about the lower high flat bottom that was brewing, and boy, did it come in there, especially during the Fed announcement. So we did close out at 739, but we were quickly above 740 thereafter. In fact, we're above 745 right now. So if we catch a bid, we're looking at 750, that key area that we lost yesterday as our first level of resistance. If we sell off, perhaps the market, you know, digests more of what new Chair Warsh has to say. We're going back to 740, Adara.
Back to 740, and as always, back to the drawing board to look at our Trader TV live watch list. This is a free resource available to you, and you can actually subscribe. You can use the link that's going to be on your screen there right in a second, or you can click the link in the description on this video, wherever you are watching, so you can get free market insight to look at what we're expecting from economic data and any stocks that are on watch. Let's talk here about INTC. I believe this is at the top of the watch list this morning. Nice look here with Intel and Apple being aided here by a post on Truth Social from President Trump.
Absolutely, Adara. President Trump announcing it to the world, but behind the scenes was Howard Lutnick, Secretary Howard Lutnick, of course, the Commerce Secretary, who's been working pretty aggressively with Tim Cook, if you believe some of the reports, to help him or sort of persuade him to reshore the domestic supply chain for his semiconductors. Look, this is a problem, obviously, for Apple, as this will create some sort of logistical, you know, changes inside. But the deal is, they didn't agree to this 18AP process by Intel until they were able to confirm the mandatory yield validation. So they needed to make sure the technology was sound before they went ahead and signed the deal. This was announced by Ming-Chi Kuo. He is one of the Apple sort of, let's just call them, you know, insiders who reports on this. 12 months of pressure from Howard Lutnick, though, as I mentioned, with Tim Cook basically threatening him with tariffs if he didn't reshore the supply chain. But I need to make this clear. It is not entirely domestic. Some of this stuff is going to be done domestically at Intel's fabs in Arizona. However, it may need to be sent out again either to Taiwan or Malaysia for refinement before it goes back into assembly, either, of course, in India or China. We're talking about iPhones here. Last but not least, Dare, I made this point earlier, and I think Mitch sort of echoed it as well, that Taiwan Semi has been strapped for capacity here, and much like SK Hynix, Samsung, and MU, they want to direct their capacity at the highest margin product. The highest margin product is not Apple Silicon. It is AI chips. We're talking GPUs, and even these CPUs that now are being used for inference. So this is not such a bad thing for Taiwan Semi as some people in the media are making it out to be.
Intel, guys, in the chip sector in general, thoughts?
Yeah, well, on the Taiwan Semi thing, Taiwan Semi has such a huge portion of the market. It's absolutely insane. And when you think about the growth that's been going on, well, if you have a widening pie, losing market share isn't as big a deal as you would think. Look, Intel is already starting to sell a bit. Remember, it's the end of the week, so I usually think dip buys in situations where if I like the long and you're failing's the wrong word, but you're back off of the all-time high, which got made in the pre-market and tagged it. So 128 I'm still going to stick with. I think this is positive news. And even if you were to like temporarily like break down underneath this prior support and resistance, like you could still hang out as long as you're maybe even above the 125.5 and just look for the dip. But it's 28 that I'll be looking at first for Intel. We like this. This is what you've been waiting for to justify everything. If you've liked Intel for quite some time, then certainly, I couldn't say I hate anybody that would ring the register, because the last time it was up here, I sold some at 125, but I'm not again. Already done that. Just wanted to shout out some super chats because my board's not working to put them up. Adam James abroad, good morning to you as well. The small cap as you're looking at, which you've been given every single morning, so appreciate you there, Adam. WAC, PMEC, CDT, WKSP, and then there was another couple from Frank freaking Rizzo. You guys are killing it. You're killing it, and we appreciate you. Thank you for the super chats all. And yeah, like I like the chips today. Well, I should probably mention, because I guess this is the only time we're going to talk about chips. Another thing I'm looking at on the note is not a long, and that is SMCI continuation short. 29.4, that was we'll call it the Fed top, and this name it's up 3%, but that got woodshedded in the afternoon. And it's been down literally every day this week. If today's the update, then today's the day that the short doesn't work, which is what it is.
Yeah, I'm going to just quickly look at and just talk about what I have on here. I have Intel as well, man. I mean, I'm looking at 130. I got to edit that. 130 long there for Intel, right? So we'll have a quick little look to see what's going on, but it's already coming in. So I don't. It's been a nice move there. We were 133 back into 131, so we're gonna have to wait to see what winds up happening here with Intel today. But yeah, move back into 130. Let's try to watch it. I like the report here, and I think the NASDAQ, it should be a risk-on day. This is the right name. We talked about the USA strength and how that's gonna look like moving forward. So I want to support Intel today, that's for sure. And I want to support Apple as well. I think there's just I just think it's a long day. Intel acting a little different than Apple. Apple's starting to go to the upside right here. And maybe, this whole idea with Apple and Intel coming together now does solidify some of the supply side, right? The demand side is going to be a different story for Apple, as they talked about potentially increasing prices and whatnot, or they will be increasing prices. We're not sure on which units yet. Is it going to be the CPUs? Is it everything across the board? Is it the iPhone? I don't think we exactly know yet where those price increases are coming, but we do know that right here, if they can solidify part of that foundry with Intel, then it does create supply certainties. So I like that, and the fact is, it's not a tariff situation anymore if they can get it done with Intel. So I like Apple, maybe a little bit better. I only wrote down Intel long, but Apple could be a good one too. Watch out for 296, sorry, this pre-market low for AAPL. All right, let's go back over and see what's going on back there.
Yeah, first off here, I do want to mention TTWO. They announced there are going to be some pre-orders kicking off here for GTA 6, which is hotly anticipated. That's going to be starting on June 25th. So we're expecting this game to come out in November. Pre-order starting June 25th. Nice push up over the last couple 3-minute candles for TTWO. Let's talk about this guy here. Rolling off both. He has been added to SpaceX's board, and of course here with SPCX, Elon Musk. Connection to this guy as well, because they're both in the PayPal mafia, as they call it, Sharif. Interesting story.
Yeah, they are, Adara. The appointment of what they're calling a veteran venture capitalist, Rolf Botha. He's going to be an independent director, and I think he's going to chair or be a member of the audit committee. More on that in a second. The mainstream media wants to, paint this as the reunion of the PayPal mafia, or really kind of highlight his auditor background. But there's more to it than that. He has a lot of interest, believe it or not, in SpaceX. He did join the board in a personal capacity. That's a legal term. But his ties to the firm are really well documented. He chaired or he headed Sequoia Capital. Sequoia Capital holds about a 1.5% stake in SpaceX. And now post-IPO, that 1.5% stake's worth $35 billion. So there's a lot of interest there. He does technically hold personal shares, but within the meaning of the definition as it's legally defined, he gets to be categorized as a independent director. Let's talk also about, this kind of hiring of an old friend. In reality, it's a structural necessity because legally, post-IPO, the rules mandate that newly listed companies must populate its audit committee with what they're calling verified, experienced financial experts to comply with the tight regulatory guidelines. And last but not least, he's not getting paid anything. Okay, so in the regulatory filing, there's a bizarre compensation detail. It deviates typically from board members for typical S&P 500 companies, which SpaceX is still not, to be fair. But he's going to basically, him and other members as well, they're going to get nothing, receiving zero cash and zero equity for their board service.
You guys watching SPCX on its 5th day of trading?
SpaceX, which has been like, I don't know, every time I've traded it this week, it's been at some point been like the best stock that day. But we'll get one thing out of the way. There are a lot of dark pool wicks on SpaceX this morning. I've seen a lot of people talking about it in the chat. These are all ridiculously late reported prints, which are obviously coming from the prior day. None of them are actually real. It has not really traded underneath 185 this morning. Like, that's actually held up as support. With all of that said, yesterday was the first red day that it had. It was a good short. The afternoon, the 200 level was a brick wall that did one of those like false breaks and then flushed. That's the first place that I'd look for a pop and a fade. But we also had the 195 at the close as a resistance. So given the fact that it was its first day selling off, well, I shouldn't say it's its first day selling off because, I mean, if you're being real about it, on Tuesday was mostly a sell day after a big push to the upside. But this was a straight, like yesterday was a straight sell-off. Like it popped a little bit at the open and then was trend down. So I'll call it the first red day and first real sell-off, looking for continuation, 95 and the 200 levels. You gotta be careful with it though. Like this is the kind of stock where you take your shots, win, lose, or draw, but you don't want to give back what has probably been profitable for a lot of people. And on the other note, how far we end up going back here, who knows? If these prints were real, then I would be on that bid in my personal account, but I don't think we dropped $37 today. I think that could be something that we're still looking for, where the bottom ends up temporarily on SPCX. But for today, I'm just looking pop and fade.
Yeah, I mean, same kind of ways. I wrote it down here on basically the exact same thing. I wrote down 195 to 194 to 195 here on SPCX. So bear with us as we work with our software over here to get the board back up there. Our position board will be back up, and our rundown will be back up. Just having some issues right now, but 195 to 194. Yesterday was its first red day, and as Neil said, we have to apologize. We can't edit these one. Like to edit these one by one, you got to click it. You got to go data, and you got to fix all these prices. Someone keeps on printing, and they are on the tape there, so we can't get rid of them. Unfortunately, I've already talked to our provider right now of the charts and try to get that all cleaned up. So I think they were trying to work on that. But right into here, yesterday's close is 195, 194, 196. So this little area right up into there, if we get any bumps, I think it's worth looking at it. You've now crossed over the 200 period, but again, I don't think that these are very important wicks, but it's definitely affecting all of these lines here. So I can't unfortunately use this chart anymore. By the way, Worksport, former sponsor of the show, is popping right now, WKSP. That would be a name to look at here. We will do that in a second. But here's a SpaceX 5-minute chart. So we're still underneath, and this is again from eSignal, so we want to give them a shout out. But right there, underneath right now, looking to get lower, there's 195. So this is what I'm playing off of. There's 195, the close on the 16th. So that was a good price there, obviously, on day 2. And then there's the day 3, and then there's the first move downside. Yesterday, we closed basically at the lows, which is, part of that is Warsh heated up, right? So that's down here at 192. We do battle back a little bit, but now you're well under that 192 at 197, so 187. So if we do take a bump up here into 194, 195, a key area for me to look at would be right around here. So that's something that I'm going to be trying to get short on SpaceX. And it's not something, and you know, we really, I could go back and show you, I'm sure these guys traded it yesterday. You know, I could go back and show you, I ran the short the last couple of days into the closes of, since I've been here, long early in the morning, short at the end of the day. Today I almost get a different opinion where I just think we wait for it to pop, as Neil said. If we can get a pop of, I mean, it would be $6 at this point. So maybe it's a little much to get that $6 move higher. But again, SpaceX, and if we slow this down, see there's like a 159. All these red prints are 159s, 159s, 159s. So they're all coming in, and unfortunately it's gonna be like that for our chart. I'm hoping once the market opens up, all this dark pool reporting will be finished with, and we can get a clean chart. But for right now, this is what SpaceX looks like. We have no other way of trading it. I guess you could use one of those levered ETFs. If you want to look at that, it's probably a little cleaner than what we're looking at. But look, I like SpaceX today. I think you can also look at, and like I said, I did the test drive yesterday. The full self-drive is awesome. Tesla's been a dog, though, as they all have been. We already talked about that Mag 7 look, and they're all getting hit down to the downside. Actually, Tesla's probably one of the best-looking Mag 7 charts right now. I mean, they still got Google in there, but, you know, this one, pretty much trying to hold out on $400. So let's wait to see if we can do that. Tesla up 0.62. Market rallying really good right now. AMD, what's up next? MU, okay, so this is what's gonna come through. So all these chip names really starting to rally the market here. AMD's up 4% as well. Let's go back to find the story with Micron and the rest of the sector.
More analyst notes here on MU. Micron reports earnings on Wednesday, and a lot of analysts are weighing in ahead of time, including today, Wedbush.
Yes, and Steve Fuladera, they're both chiming in as we got the Whispers number earlier this week. Let's keep tabs on that. Let's start with Wedbush, reiterating the outperform rating, boosting the price target from 500 to 1,300. It's not street high, but it's one of the more aggressive calls on the street. Matt Bryson, the analyst there, arguing HBM and DRAM pricing always seems to be the case here for their the precipice for the upgrade or the price target increase. Powerful upcycle driven by AI infrastructure spending and constrained supply. The bull case assumes that they can maintain this pricing power into 27. Stiefel, much the same view here. They raised the price target from 550, a little bit higher than what Wedbush had it. Also higher on the increase, 1,500 instead of 1,300, keeping the buy rating. They're increasing their estimates significantly above consensus, according to this report, to reflect another big upward shift in AI-driven demand. Adair, it seems to be the same here, depending, or irrespective of what analyst rating you're looking at.
You guys watching the sector today?
No, not at all.
Never. Why
Watching the chip
watch
sector, I never even, what is it, Micron? What are some other names in there?
What? All-time high, you
Texas
said?
Instruments? No. Yeah, go ahead with it.
Well, I mean, potential all-time high. I might have misspoke earlier, because I think I did say that Micron was making an all-time high today. Obviously, if you include the pre-market, it was up at 11:30 just a couple of days ago, and then again on open, like in opening session, all-time high would be 11:10, which is now $5 away. That said, look, I'm going to be on Intel today, and and obviously SpaceX is going to be in play, and I like SMCI, so I might not end up trading a Micron. But what we have been talking about with regard to Micron is that report next week. Every single time we've seen, well, almost every single time we've seen one of these parabolic names report, there has been an opportunity in there for a dip. Micron did this on their last earnings, and it was a pretty solid dip. It was great numbers, and really, we keep saying this about Micron. It feels the same way Nvidia did a couple of reports into what was one of the greatest cycles that we've ever seen in stock market history, when Nvidia started going ham for real. And I think that's where Micron's at, where they're just not, the market in terms of price action is not doing what you want to see when you have these blowout reports. So in that vein, you look for places to dip buy next week. The 1,000 lines up with the chart here, but that's not going to matter on Wednesday, I believe, when they report. Just look for any kind of support that comes in. And it's either going to be the trend line, which could be a little bit higher if we continue to go. It might be a break of that, and then for support at 900. But I think that's the opportunity you're waiting for on Micron. And DRAM, obviously a great way to play it, has been following suit as well. I think you get cross exposure here into all of the names, and it's got an even better upward trend. Like, it can suffer even a bigger pullback. If I were to draw the same trend line, this could go back 20% and still hold the trend, which is a crazy thing to say, but it gives you a little bit of perspective. DRAM could pull back 20% and still be holding the trend. Like that's where we're at right now. So when you start thinking about, oh, I want to buy the dip, or I want to find the bottom in CRM, or whatever it might be, I don't know, the next time these guys dip, that's pretty good too. And you got an uptrend instead of trying to figure out when something is going to break a downtrend.
Yeah, no, there's been a couple good names to look at. I mean, you mentioned Micron coming out on the 24th, so next week we'll have a look at that. TS Jex fan there in the chat, I did see your message. Thank you so much for that. You're looking at Rackspace. So again, just names that are, continued this whole play in the CPU, and then we talked, that's a memory thing, but, you're going to need, we had to talk about the SMCIs of the world, the Dell, but there goes Rackspace. And you're welcome, TX Jets fan, for this one. Up from $6 up to $7. Well, you warned us, but thank you for bringing up to our attention, and I'm glad that we were able to talk about it. There's the break there through 7, and it was all happening yesterday. Big move there. Oops, sorry, that's the daily chart. Here it is, the minute chart. And again, I just think this is a little bit of a false move down, and it's not false. I mean, it happens. The market gave back. But if we sort of go by and we say, okay, that Fed, that what we all thought was going to be a dove kind of turned into a little bit of a hawk there, I would just say, this has movement through $8 today, all over it. We should be getting back to sort of where we were pre-Fed on a lot of these names that don't have anything really to do with inflation. I don't think, when we talk about inflation and, it's a choice according to Warsh and everything like that. So he's hopefully going to choose to keep it under control. And at the end of the day, I don't think a name like Rackspace or any of these other chip names really need to be affected by that. Inflation, obviously, is going to hit the whole market and us as consumers. But as far as the build-out is concerned, I don't think it's going to stop anybody. Looking at names like Target, Walmart, some consumer names maybe for an inflation trade, but not some of these ones. And you go over to a name like Marvell that has another catalyst today, and that is going to be the addition into the S&P 500, right? So you're going to be watching out for names like Marvell, ASTS, Astera Labs, Rocket Lab, all these other names that are NASDAQ based, moving around today at the close. So these continue to go, and I actually just sort of put something out here. I was a little bit asked AI, obviously, as all of us do here, for some names about the CPUs. We just talked about the GPU surge that we've had and into memory and everything. So what about CPUs? It spit out AMD, Intel, ARM, and Qualcomm as names with Nvidia that could continue to keep going up on this big CPU move. We did have Mitch on talking about thinking the CPUs are. We were all hearing the same thing, and that's why I was talking about the Mac Minis and different opportunities like that, getting into computer space. And we mentioned ARM taking out all-time highs. Right now, it's at all-time highs again. This was just a $300 name last week. Okay, it's $440 today. So just in 1 week, you added another 45% to ARM from those lows. So picking up high-quality names at lows, especially if it's in the right space. I mean, you're not going to be stopping these names. And ARM, of course, reaching out. I wish you had a little more length in that one. But it's huge, and it's just continuing its move higher. So I think all of these names have to be looked at today. And ARM, just another one that is absolutely ripping. I cannot believe we had the opportunity to buy this at $200 there, and we did, so it's all good. But still making extensions here on ARM to that upside. And yeah, good for anybody looking at it. And congratulations for the whole CPU trade. And we had mentioned there that Lip Bhutan himself it's about 8 GPUs for every 1 CPU right now. And with inference and all this stuff coming, the change hopefully is going to be towards more CPUs. So that does give, Intel and all that just another kick higher.
AMD too.
So yeah, and that's why we looked at AMD. I think a lot of these names continue to move off of their current levels, which is unbelievable considering the run that we've had. So Micron on earnings. We talked about this. We got to go back to the desk. We only have 2 more stories and 3 more minutes. But Micron earnings next week. I don't think it can be stopped. We talked about maybe taking some profit at some of these levels. I don't think that's a bad thing to do. And then you just wait. A lot of names have gotten hit on earnings. I think you're going to get an opportunity to buy Micron a little bit lower. But for now, man, I mean, congratulations to those longs.
Yeah, it doesn't maybe not buy this next name, though.
It doesn't seem to be a problem there. Oh, yeah, don't buy some Accenture. Well, see if you get some consulting. Let's go consult in the back about what happened with Accenture.
Yeah, we'll take these last 2 stories here before we send you guys over to the opening bell. Starting with ACN, Accenture mixed earnings report here, announcing some cybersecurity investments.
Yeah, $4.175 billion in Adara to pick up a majority stake in Dragos and absorb all of Run Zero and NetRise. That was unexpected. expected, and it exceeds the guidance for the CapEx or the acquisition spending that they had guided previously. But you could also look at their the tightening growth curve, 3 to 4% rather than 5%, which was what the street was expecting. You could also look at the fact that their U.S. government contracts are dwindling here, bringing revenue down by about 1% as the U.S. government looks to shore up costs. Any number of reasons why we're down 14% here.
There's also GeoOGL, which right now is trying to bounce. There was some potentially notable turnover here at their Gemini department with someone leaving to join OpenAI.
Absolutely. VP Noam Shazir announced he's leaving to join OpenAI. This is a very familiar person to Google who had been working there until he returned to the company in 2024. He had left in 2021 to go into Character AI, which Google then acquired. His departure does underscore, of course, the growing talent war, let's call it that, between the frontier models, Adara.
Best of luck to all as we head into that opening bell. We'll send you back over to Sean and Neil.
Oh, best of luck. I mean,
there were several
go.
buy imbalances. They all immediately paired off. It was Nvidia was a buy, Amazon was a buy, Intel was a buy, all over 1 million shares. They're now all paired. Well, Intel's still 500,000. Alphabet, look, we like them. Accenture, we don't. The only thing with Alphabet is you're under the 50 period, so I think that could be like temporary resistance if we get a jump up today at about 373. But off the open, well, it's unavoidable. You know we're going to be looking at SpaceX. Until this thing stops doing insane volume on a daily basis, this is going to be in play. 195 and 200 are the pop and fade levels that I'm looking at. Intel 128, we're looking for a dip. That did get up to 133 and starting to pull back on that buy and balance. I mentioned SMCI that I like for fade if that gets up to about 29.4. But yeah, it should be a wild one. It's post-Fed day. It is witching day as well, so watch out for some extra volatility at the open and at the close because we're wrapping up the week with the holiday shortened week and index rebalancing at the end of the day. Don't sleep on Marvell. Rocket Lab's going in as well. So in 4, 3, 2, and 1, and we're open.
All right, here we go. Welcome to the jungle once again here, everybody, as our quotes are very, very choppy, if not even moving at all. Okay, here we go. 130 now we're starting to go here as those imbalances just settle out. There was big imbalances. I mean, we just saw an Intel print of 6 million shares go off right there at the open. Intel's already done 17 million shares, and there it goes back up to the upside on reports of, I can't switch quote. I can't switch.
Give it a minute.
Okay, so I was going to try to find out some Apple here, but again, unable to switch quotes right now as there's just so much volume. Oh, there it goes. There goes Apple, up to 300 right now, looking to take that out. Intel's looking to take out the day's high as well. So here we go again, man. Amazon up as well. Google started to go at the beginning of the market here. Let's see if we can get a quote on that. 367 upside now for Google. What a run. 365 up to 367. Look at the NASDAQ though, pulling back just a little bit. We did hit 2%. Give it to me.
It was a SpaceX, just really.
I've been watching it. What was
it? But it just flashed down. There was just
did it? Okay.
There was just a buyer at 186. It looks like they're already chewing through that and already gone. Okay, you know what? I think it was already gone. It was huge size at the 186 level. They just destroyed that to the downside. If we were thinking pop and fade, maybe we adjust this to the local top here, or just look at an 85 break, which might already be going. Like this stock is really starting to give it up a little bit. Even Intel's starting to pull back as well. Market coming off of those highs.
I just went short on SpaceX.
Yeah, apologies for all these candle wicks. Is it at 180? Yeah,
no, it's not at 186. You got to watch the level 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right here. So this is the actual price of SpaceX. I'm going to go a little short right now at 185, 185.10.
It just got 86.
Looked like it was, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can get these levels. You just got to put your offers out there and maybe you'll get some shares. Yeah. But there it goes. Now breaking lower now on SpaceX. We still have the wrong position board there, Andre, if you can get the position board.
It's also not updating.
Up as well.
It's not updating.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay, he's working on it. So, okay, we've got this all ready to go. I am now short SpaceX. You can see just here at 185. My actual price is 185.20s. So, sorry, 185.15s. Nothing to really write home about. We're going to wait to see if we can get something out around 190 if that breaks higher there. But right now, SpaceX starting to go to the downside. Watching out for a 190 as my out there if it goes. So, yeah, my wife just messaged me, crazy storm right now outside. So
it was crazy this morning.
Yeah, this morning was too. It was fine for me coming in. But here we go, man. SpaceX, we're already $1 plus now in the money on SpaceX. We're short at 185.36. We are working on that position board. I am covering more here at 84. Down goes SpaceX. I'm short right now 185.36. Short SpaceX. I think Neil mentioned he is as well. So both of us now short SpaceX. Watch out for Intel. Right now coming to the downside is, upside is Intel. But I'm just on SpaceX, man. This is a big trade.
Yeah, I'm trying to get 83 hash.
You can get it. Just put a bid.
Yeah, give me a bid. Give me the bid. Give me the bid. Give me the bid.
I just put it as well. So.
You know, I'm going to move to like the 60s or 70s to try to catch that fill there. There we go. Oh, that's the first time we're not going to have dark pools in this last candle. I hope I don't jinx it.
Oh, that'd be nice.
But the opening candles are getting rid of these dark pools. So you can see the position there. But you know what? Intel's gone. Bye-bye. All-time highs for Intel. It's an absolute rocket ship. This thing.
Oh, thank you, man.
So shout out to all the Intel junkies out there. $135 we just got to and tagged it. You cannot stop Intel. You can only hope to, well, you can't contain it. It's up 11%. I can't even use that quote right now. That's the one that we missed. But there was no dip. It never gave you the dip.
I don't think we missed it. I mean, well, we did, but you got to pick and choose your poison here. And I think we both chose, I think correctly anyways for now, with SpaceX. SpaceX gave us $1. We were covered a bunch of times there. And I actually did get that. No, I didn't. My best fill is 184. So I didn't get anything under here. But here's 183. There's 183.50 right now. So we'll ride that bull to the downside here on SpaceX. We are still, apologies and bear with us as we work on our position board. Fabian's not in yet, so we'll wait to get that fixed. As Brendan's over there fixing the position board. And there it goes, Neil. Kablamo, Blumo. There it is, props it up right now. We're 250 in the money, and we've got a position on. This is, we didn't come in playing around here. There's no market tomorrow, so we got to make double our day today. No, just kidding. Don't think like that. But there it goes, man. It goes a nice little downside play there. There's our one, and I know you probably didn't. I talk like this, but this is the first day, and I don't have my stream deck open. But I do like to talk when we hit our daily goals, and there it is right there, one time with SpaceX there. Just takes one trade, and that's what it is right now. $3 in the money right now on SpaceX. So we'll go, we did get reloaded right there.
Added on the
yeah, at the 200 period, moving to the downside right now. We are huge right now on SpaceX, man. Yeah, about buying that used MacBook. Maybe we get a new one. This is huge now. This is going down into 181.50. That's my next bid. Did we just get 181.50s? No, we got 182s there. There's 181.50s.
Yep.
Oh my God. This is a big one. There it is. Thank you, Brendan and everybody.
It's
Michael for working on that. We are now locked and loaded here on SpaceX. How do we have the exact same price? Oh, no, you have 81s. I have 50.
Added, dude. I got in at 85 originally.
Oh, my bad. You're 180. See how it was? We have. They look similar. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got someone for 84, but then I added on the next breakdown.
There it is.
Playing into the 180. I want the 180. Look, it's a Friday.
Wow.
It's expiration, so I'm gonna.
Holy shit.
I always try to go station to station. I did get SMCI. We'll deal with that in a little bit.
This is a big one.
We are supposed to go up to Adara, so let's get our first update of the day.
I mean, yes.
USO here, guys. USO hanging out here, approaching pre-market lows as we get news that Iran is saying shipping traffic is back to normal at the southern ports. So seems like we're trying to see some normalization here in Iran with regards to shipping. USO on focus. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Adara. I'm. Once you get obsessed with something, we keep on it. Maybe ADHD. I don't know what's going on. But right there, 180. We're gonna take another fill down there at 181. And again, that's it, man. Now it is 2 times the daily goal met on SpaceX on a $5 move to the low side. And again, it's the number one trade idea on here was Intel. The number 2 one is SpaceX to the downside. So we hit that. We can wait to see for 180 now what's going on there. But I only have about a third left, and I'm actually going to take out one more piece here. And then there it is. We get the 50 level. Now we'll wait for 180. If it breaks lower, it breaks lower. Where's the out going to be? Good question, Sean, as you continue to talk to yourself. I was thinking if I'm going to use a 1-minute chart, I better use a chart that's actually working. So we're going to use a 1-minute chart here. That's 186. So that puts me all the way back to where we were. This was such a dramatic move down that I think realistically, like this 184 where we had a little bit of bump and grinding, but not really. It's only a 1-minute chart. That could be an area where we either reload or think about getting it out. So let's see how many shares we wind up having. Still looking to get filled at 180 down here. 181's been sort of the bottom as we look at this. And we can even look at, like, I know you talk about this sometimes too.
Break
you can look at, like, I was going to say 20-second charts, things like that might help. It's going to take a second to load, but maybe I'll show that. There it is. So, it gives you a little bit more of an idea of what we're doing. There's the break now of 180 here. So we'll see if we can still wind up holding that very bottom of 180.50 right now for SPCX. But yeah, man, like I am short on this, and it's been so far so good here on SPCX as both Neil and I hit that short. So congratulations. I hope Joe hit it over there as well. But it's a nice move down. We just are waiting for 180.25. We've got a big piece. So, we still got a piece on right now, and it's coming back into the downside. So here comes 180 on SPCX. Maybe Neil's looking at something else, but I'm definitely not
I'm looking
right now.
at a nice.
There it is. We just got it.
Nice backdrop of my. I have to reload my chart. Sorry, guys.
Okay. There's 179, Neil.
Just absolutely crashed on me, but that's fine.
Yeah, well, no surprise.
No, I made the mistake of.
Oh, you tried to adjust?
Well, I tried to fix.
Holy shit! This is $7 now.
Bye. So I reloaded. I'm just looking for another opportunity to jump back in. I've shorted it twice, and we'll short it as many times as we need to. But I wanted 180. We got 180. We'll look for the next available pop and see where it goes. I'm going to cancel my IBIT because that's going to be out of bounds. Unfortunately, everybody. Intel, which we liked to the long side. It's not that I don't still like it. Shoot, I shouldn't have flipped stocks. Okay, there we go. With its first pullback off 135, can it hold VWAP is going to be the only question. Because the way I see this market now, that's a heavy pullback coming back in. So just sitting on a bid because you happen to like the stock to the long side is not going to be the way that I'm going to play this. I'd rather be a little bit more patient, see a confirmation of that volume weighted average price, because I don't like what I see over there on Intel just yet. Well, the market, I should say. So I want to make sure we look good on Intel. I just canceled my IBIT short, by the way. That's, Bitcoin's still languishing, still falling, but I'd like to get it at VWAP if we're able to at all. And congrats, I see some people playing that QuantumScape on that Honda news. So partnership with Honda, solid state batteries, that's their tech. But if you played it the way Luis does, the second it loses VWAP, it's a short. 10% down already on QS. VWAP. I know we're a broken record, but it's a pretty good indicator, everybody.
Yeah, it's all right. Today, of course, the only indicator you need is short, and you just need Neil and myself. We put down here on the sticky note right there, that the second trade would be the short on SpaceX, right? It didn't even get close to 194, 195. We just played the momentum. And I put this post out the other day about how, hey, my beautiful wife, how's it going? And there it is right here. This is that concert. Post Malone and Jelly Roll were on the stage at one point. That was kind of fun. And here it is, the big-ass stadium tour. We had a lot of fun there. But this is the thing, man. You got to, if you're here, you're here. And you got to spend your money somewhere. And we're really grateful that the action on SpaceX over the last couple of days has really brought us to some of this confidence that we do have. And we sit right back down. We take a day off yesterday. We had a lovely day, great breakfast, great everything yesterday. And then there's the move right back into 178. And all we do is just resume what we always talk about, man. There's your 200 period moving average, these pre-market highs, loving everything about SPCX right there. Let's go off of that now, because honestly, I only have like less than 20. I have about 15% left on this trade. It's $7, but we have 15% left. Let's look at something else. Marvell right now does make that move higher into pre-market level of 310. So that's where we're at right now. Wow. Okay. SpaceX still bleeding, man. Lower. We're just breaking 178 right now. So anybody that had FOMO, Neil mentioned like we didn't think we were going to go down $30 today. I don't think we are either, but we may get into some levels.
My bid's good for 3 months.
Right, where people want to start to buy some SpaceX. I don't know if it's going to be today, tomorrow, the next day, but I think 170, there'll be some buyers maybe. Even 175 could find some bids. I just covered again a little bit there as we just talked. Well, we actually talked about that last cover, so nothing lower than 178 right now for myself, but that's a good look for SpaceX. Apple on Intel news today, right? I mean, we'll look at some other names. Nothing's halted yet that I can see. CRVO halted. That might be doing some volume, but there's Apple again. And shout out to, was it Jay Lee or somebody in the chat was saying that they were starting to load up on the Qs short, and that looks like that's going to print too. Like there's Apple 300 down to 296. We definitely like that one. I didn't write Apple down on here, but definitely a name to look at would be Apple.
I like it at 290.
Yeah, but down at the 200 period, I like it.
Where is it, 296?
Yeah, 296. Yeah, it's not ready yet. And then IREN had a little bit of a story today as well, and that's trying to make some moves here. So I'm going to cover a little bit more here at 179.70.
Oil's at the lows, by the way.
Oil's at the lows and the market's at the lows?
Yeah.
That's strange. Normally that doesn't happen. We just did some more covering right there on SpaceX. So I'm going to get one more piece out here above 180 if we're able to do that. I'm bidding 180.05. We'll take, there it is, we take that. And now we'll just wait, okay? We have about 10% left, about a little bit more than 10% left on this trade. So let's look for something else. But so far, so good there on SPCX. Yeah.
Well, as I was saying, like USO, the market's going down and oil is going down. So you don't always see this, but remember the markets and oil had been disconnected for multiple times this week. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's worth watching because I think if we continue to fall too far in oil, I think you could catch a bit of a bid. But look at SMCI catch a bid. Well, one of these days it had to be a long. And right now it looks like it. We just broke the high. This was the best short in the afternoon on Fed Day. But remember, the level I really like is 29.4. So that was the one in the note. I'll take my shots when I like a short at VWAP. I'll take my shots at pre-market highs. 29.4 is the level that we want there. We're still holding one. I know we're going over some of the same names. We're still holding that 180 area. VWAP on SpaceX is about 183. So that gives it a spot if it's able to bounce. Bitcoin doing some Bitcoin things, which is falling down and not giving you an opportunity to get into the short unless you short the lows. Intel.
Oh yeah, IBIT. We forgot about IBIT.
Well, there's not much to say about it. I can show the chart.
Oh my gosh.
It's just falling. That's all it's doing. This is what Bitcoin does.
God.
Bitcoin just flushes.
I just got 179 again on SpaceX, so this is really starting to work out. There it is. That just dropped through there on SpaceX. We just got, so I took some out above 180 there, thinking like, okay, the party's over, blah blah blah, and then it just cracked through 179. So now it's not just $1; it's 7 of those coming through right now to the downside as SpaceX is bleeding its way through today, down 7%. Oh, there's Adara. Good thing I didn't message her because I was like, Adara, I was wanting to ask you about CRVO because right now this is ServoMed Inc. and they are serving up.
That's the one.
That's the one, right? And they're serving up a halt right now. So CRVO. Yeah, Adara's going to get it. No rush, Adara. But there it is, man. $40. Maybe $4 up to $5.50 right there. And hey, I don't know. I mean, Sharif's right here right now. Joe's right here right now. We've seen a definite movement in some of these smaller cap names with that change of the PDT rule a couple weeks ago, right? So what's up, Adara? CRVO?
ServoMed, yeah. This is as of 7 this morning, receiving U.S. patent for its neflamapimod drug candidate for the treatment of dementia with Lewy bodies. So okay. CRVO, I believe this one rallied a couple days ago as well. New catalyst today, though. Nice look.
All right, I mean,
the only thing is that's the one I was trying to remember in the pre-market.
Okay.
Like I had seen a stock and everyone was talking about it and it looked really good in the pre-market. And I know why, because it was this 420 level. It doesn't really matter. And it bounced off 420, which is going to make me hit that key. But what is also happening, remember what day today is. Today is the last day of the week. It is index rebalancing.
What?
Rocket Labs is going into the NASDAQ 100, and if it gets to 100, I like the long. Of course, it's bouncing.
Wow, that is straight down. Is that's the minute chart?
Yeah, this is a 3-minute chart.
Oh, wow.
This has no dark pools.
Okay.
So 102.5 is a current low. I like the 100 for support on Rocket Lab today, and it's not just because it's going into the index. They were buying this thing anyways down around the 100. It's not that I want it to go further to the downside, but if it does, that can be a place to look for a bit of a bid, right? Intel. Okay, this might be this is the hold of VWAP right now on Intel. So this is the spot we're going to take our shot here. So we got a little bit of a pullback. It did get an all-time high. So Intel technically went to 135 all-time highs and now trying to bounce off the volume weighted average price. I'm in here underneath the $0.50 trying to get picked up. The problem is if you put orders out on SpaceX, like you're accustomed to it just sweeping you in all the time. On Intel, it doesn't always happen. But I just got picked up. We'll give it to the prior bar low. That's the crazy thing. Like,
well, 133, that's a good price.
No, we're talking about it on SpaceX this morning. Like, you just sit there, like 70 pennies away, like, oh, I'll probably get this fill. And then it just picks you up because it's just going dollars back and forth over and over again. All right, so we're into Intel off of VWAP. Let's see if this one can hold up. I'm hoping the market can pop enough to also get me Bitcoin short. But that doesn't even want to catch any kind of a bid. Bitcoin down at 60, just broke 64,000 and still looking like an absolute dog.
All right. Bitcoin's, well, I wanted to talk about that earlier, but it does look like it's having its day
Better
today
places for money to go.
to the downside. Yeah, 60. Well, yeah, I haven't bought any more. That's for sure. Yeah, so just for SpaceX, there's VWAP, as Neil mentioned, man, like we really like those kind of levels. I don't trust VWAP on our system, so I'm just, for obvious reasons, we just talked about all those bad prints that we have, so I can't look at those. But there it is right here on eSignal, and we're gonna try to clean those up on our back end, but there's nothing Neil and I can do right now, so we apologize for that. 183.50 is where the real VWAP is, about, you know, what I can see here on a continuation VWAP from this morning. So 183.50 right there. Oh, Intel fell through. That was a good level. So we'll see. That's a 25 period as well. If we break above that, then we're going to get out of the majority of our shares there on Intel. But just to let you know, we are on SpaceX. Sorry, we are now down to less than 10% of our position here on INTC. I'll pass it over to you for Intel because right now I don't have anything else.
It just lost a prior bar. So you know if we come to my chart for a second, it's all good, Andre. Yeah, so it lost the prior bar. That's pretty much always going to be the out in a case like this. I don't put stop orders at VWAP per se. It's a nice area to look off of, but once you lose the prior bar, I don't want to hold this. Like SpaceX, you can give $1 because the SpaceX is going to move, I think, that $2, $3 just a little bit faster and a little bit easier, but not this stock. If I don't get it in good, then I don't want to hold on to it forever. So I'll move on to the next. If SpaceX, I know we've been looking at it a lot. If we get a pop there, fair enough. But the other idea, of course, was to look at IBIT. I don't want to just short the first green candle, but sometimes in a downtrend, I feel like that's the way that you got to handle things. But I'll try to let this get back into VWAP. That'll be the plan of action. Let it get back into the volume weighted average price, at least attempt to, and then we can try to rock it. I know we talked a lot about DRAM and the memory names. The Micron did make an all-time high, but it's doing a similar thing to Intel. Trying to hold VWAP, trying to hold a lower high. But right now, these are both profiling like a false break at the open and then a lower high. Right, false break at the open. I even said in my note, and I'll go back and read it and then hate myself for it. If it false breaks the open, I should reverse short. I know I said it, but when you have an initial bias and you miss that initial long, it's so easy to want that first trade to be a long when it was a false break, and oftentimes that ends up a short. So we'll see what happens. But if it's not catching a bid at 120, I think that's a problem. SpaceX, still trying to get to VWAP. It's still languishing and looking pretty weak. I want a third short in this at some point, but I'm not going to rush. The market's on a bounce, so we'll let it bounce a little bit here. And apologies, everybody. I know we can't do much about those charts, but they have been clean since the open. So all those crazy dark pools, I don't think we have to worry about them. It'll just make the pre-market look messy. That's all.
Yeah, nothing to do now.
It's fine now.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait to see. We already have our stop on SpaceX 183.50. So if that does come through, and wow, I know you just talked about Intel, but wow, did that ever lose the bid? I mean, you're not lying about that one. As Intel just fell through, and like typing in INTC, we are getting a little slower quotes today with the extended volume. 46 million shares already on Intel. I had wrote down 130. I mean, that's right where we're coming into right now, but it doesn't look like it wants to hold. I mean, the market's doing okay up here. I'm gonna try 130 because again, you know, I wrote it down and we wanna make sure that we can get it if it's there. So we'll try it small. I'm gonna give it to 129.75. If we break below that, and I know it's not giving it like a whole bunch of room, but you know, for me, I'm happy doing that. So right now we'll go long. We'd written down that we liked an Intel at this. Oh boy, man, I missed you guys yesterday. But there it is right there. Immediately 60 cents in the money right now on Intel. How about 70 cents now in the money as it comes right down into 130 and we take that one. So yeah, man, we props it up. Who's watching the sticky note? Put those hands up in the air. And please don't wave them like you just don't care. You don't want to hurt anybody. But right there, we do have it written down today as our #1 trade idea was this right there, Intel long 130. So what do we have? We have 130 longs. What are we doing? We're ringing the registers for, again, another dollar club right there, man. We're back in the building right now. Yesterday's show with Joe and Neil, obviously a banger, but I'm glad to be back right here, giving you guys hopefully some trading opportunities and some ideas as we ring the register now long side on INTC. Let's see how much further it can go. I'm actually out of half already here on Intel. Could still be a loser, but take some out there as we pop back to the upside there on INTC. Let's go one more out right here. Why don't we do that? There it is. We'll take it in the 80s, and then now we can rest assured that if it does wind up breaking 130, then we're all good on that. And here comes SpaceX. Here comes SpaceX. Right back to VWAP, but we'll wait.
I was gonna go right down SpaceX lane.
Yeah,
but right back to VWAP, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
It
Hopefully
is a
it hangs
trading
out
show.
near
That's
VWAP.
technically what is happening. Is it's trying to go back into VWAP.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as
Let's
SpaceX
go,
lane,
Intel.
but why not? Like the market just made a nice bounce. This gives us our
There it
opportunity
is.
to finally get into this IBIT. Want to have my orders low just in case we swipe into the downside. For those that were asking about potential news in SMCI, Adara has checked, I have checked, there is none. It's just up 7.5%.
Computers, man.
Probably looking at Dell as well. I'm going to try to. You might see my black charts a little bit more often today. I'll just bring them down. It's going to be easier than flipping, because sometimes when I'm flipping, it's just taking too long. So I'm going to have that one up. I already have that up. SpaceX up. USO's catching a bit of a bid, but the new one for me is going to be IBIT. Part of the original plan was to be IBIT short, so we're going to stick with that plan of action. My goodness. If it's a day for the chips, well, I mean, what would that be without Marvell? Remember what is happening tonight. Marvell, NASDAQ, sorry, S&P 500. It's them in the S&P 500. It's the other names that are all going into the NASDAQ. It's like 5 or 6 names going into the NASDAQ. 8% to the upside as they just continue to fly. ARM, only 7%.
Only?
Well, it's options expiration, and it's rejecting the 450 level. So I think that's obviously going to be a big strike. At 450, I think it's a pretty safe assumption. So rejection of 450 on ARM, but the stock is doing absolutely fantastic. It's the chip stay today. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, you've got to be leading there. The only thing is, 2% doesn't look that great on Nvidia, but keep in mind, Nvidia has been a bit of a dog. Everything in chipland is looking very, very good. That's what makes it so bad that Bitcoin is not participating. I think it gets worse and worse. The more things appreciate and the more this cannot seem to just be part of the moves, you're going to have it's not FOMO, it's regret, it's hate that like all these other things are performing so well, why do I have money in this, right? Like I think that's the mood right now in Bitcoin.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. It's a lot of people looking for other opportunities, and I mean, people that are potentially Bitcoin traders.
Where's your money anyway? Moving
over to SpaceX, moving over to AMD and Intel. I mean, these are all the things that are flying around like we are used to seeing, of course, with Bitcoin, right? And so I think it'll be back. I really do, and I know that we've talked about Sharif with BMNR, and I know he's just kind of joking, but taking this all the way to zero. Maybe he's not, but at the end of the day, these are kind of the things that you have to support. And I do think Ethereum has a way to the upside, and I do think that Bitcoin does as well. So, to sit here and worry about it, you'll just lose hair, which I've already done. So, all right, Corvo. It's not Corvo. CRVO is that you talk about the Lewy body and the dementia. This is Servomed. They just reopened, so they halted early, opened up at 660 or so, fell back into 560, and now trying to hold this bid. So, as long as we're around this VWAP level of $5, I think that's a pretty good long for now, and I think you got a little bit of a safety net there in what you're trying to do with CRVO today, so watch out for that one. Nice move higher, and let's see if it can wind up holding there. We like to celebrate, obviously, names that are in the discovery stage of healthcare, right? And so, but okay, Cerebras, another name. Good rally back for Cerebras off of those lows of 200. We did get as high as 240 here on the daily chart, and now we're starting to fade back out into 221 again. So Cerebras, another one of those names where I don't know enough about it, but it's a memory name. They're trying to do, I think they relocate a memory a little bit differently than Micron and all those other names. So I had to do some more work on the actual technology of them. But this could be another one of those names where we look at it and say, hey, it's had its sort of sunshine moment with its IPO, and then it really just fell in. And now that we're about a month into it here, we'll wait to see if 200 can somewhat be a bottom, and it might even be around this 210 area where you can get a little bit more. All right, we did do a reload rate here, and it looks like another successful one, Randy, on Intel. So there goes Intel right now, a small little reload up and in around 80s. So we'll get another piece out if we can at 30s, and then we'll see if we can get another piece out at 70s. But for right now, there's a reload. It just went in right into the 200 period. I don't want to spend too many minutes underneath this. We are going to stop out if we do break 129.75 and give some of this money back that we made initially on that trade. It's always the first one that I think you got to take a shot on. So I do put on many more shares this first time than we're doing on the reload. right? Because if this trade's going to work out, you've seen me be in multiple dollar winners. I mean, I think we have a great example here of, that just dropped out, but of SpaceX right now. Like, stick with them. If anything, we should have reloaded at VWAP, but there goes SpaceX again. Here we go. This is the lowest I've ever been able to get out on SpaceX. So let's do that right now. That's a 178.30 level right there now for SpaceX. Now $8 in the money. And if we're going to win, let's win like this and lose like this, where, you know, it comes back up to the upside. We realize that there's a top there. We try to reload it because we like the level, but then when it drops through, get out of it and lose nothing. You know, so at the end of the day, Intel's going to be a wash for me. It was a nice move higher, does not hold, and there's the fade back to the downside for INTC. But no Intel, no cry, because we've got SPCX on right now, and that one is really moving to the downside. I think we might as well just stay in this. I wonder about 175. I'm going to put a bid down there at 175.
Yeah, exactly. Let it drop. Everything seems to be falling. If Intel gets to 128, that's going to be the level for me. But the thing at VWAP was IBIT. So as it gets back into the low, we'll take it out into that low of the day. That SMCI, Scott asking thoughts. Remember, once that breaks out, you want to try to limit the damage. Like, if I'm going to try to short it here, great. And then I'm going to take another shot. It looks like I might have missed this 30s, but as it accelerates. But I'll wait till it gets up to 30, shows a topping tail, and then get in. Like, there's no need to be involved here if you're looking for a pullback. That's just crazy talk. If I'm able to get picked up, I suppose at like 29.88, which is where I'm sitting, then we'll throw the stop at the 30 level and then be good to go. The NASDAQ is losing the bid, though.
Yeah.
So the chance to re-enter shorts might have come and gone. Like, the NASDAQ is threatening breaking the low of the day. And keep in mind, that lower high where we just put in, that's the exact same level that was being sold all day long, including at the Fed highs, which is about 735, 736 here on the NASDAQ. So that's the spot. It couldn't hold it. Now everything seems to be giving it up. So I think it's kind of the moment to get into your shorts. Could have been on that last little pop if hopefully you found a little something, because just about everything heading to the downside. We're just checking out Apple. Apple's not low enough. 298 for Apple. If Apple gets under 295, it gets pretty interesting to me. And I just heard in my ear, is Roku going again? No, it wasn't Roku.
No, it was this one. And so I put out earlier, guys, that Qualcomm could be a good spot if we're talking CPUs. So there goes Qualcomm up 6%. Yeah, it was Qualcomm, not Roku. I don't know. Did anything go on with that Roku deal? It's still done, right? That Fox A? I don't think there's any.
I think the problem is...
was there problems with it, or?
No, well, it's got regulatory issues and it's cash in stock.
Right, so we know
Fox A. If you don't want to own Fox and if you think the deal might not close, then Roku's getting sold off.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we'll have to wait. But there goes Qualcomm up 6%. We also do have Marvell going back and forth. I'm getting the note right now that Marvell's at VWAP. So, oh God, my charts are just taking a minute here. Yeah, so Marvell pulling back into a good level here. 308, potential buy zone for MRVL. You know, if the market does rally back, which we've seen, we're $8 in the money on SpaceX. That is for sure. But we're gonna wait to see. Yeah, Stuart, what's up, buddy? I mean, thank you for watching. Thanks you for being. Oh, by the way, our chat board, Fabian, is not pulling from Instagram. It's only pulling from TikTok right now. So I can't show, or sorry, from YouTube, sorry, not from Instagram. So I have to show it this way. Can you go over the reasons? It's on my sticky note. I just thought yesterday was its first red day on SpaceX, and it felt a little light on early market trading for SPCX. We started to make the move down there, and it felt light to me. We didn't break the pre-market highs. These are sort of the levels that we were looking at to go short, but eventually the 200 period was good. VWAP, we didn't trust that much because of all these prints, but yeah, just going short on SpaceX today, it was just a feel, and that's what trading is for me anyways. It's technical levels and then a feel about the market. Like I had written down here, the Intel long, the IREN long, and that's based on stories, so you got to have reasons to think about something. But at the end of the day, it's a TQQs. That I wrote down. IREN just was another, talked about some sort of deals. Yeah, it was coverage initiated at Jefferies on IREN. And then right there, we wanted to get longer on the TQs. I wrote down $80 to begin with. That was the 200 period moving average. And you can see right now, the 200 period moving average held quite nicely there as well. And then, yeah, here's IREN. I wrote down on IREN to get long here at 59.50. So like that was a level that, again, we're in SpaceX when that was happening. We didn't focus on IREN, but that trade 59.50, just not there today. It comes in 259.50, and pretty much that's the stop, but it only gets up to 60 and then fades out again. So I'm going to pass on IREN and just continue to watch out for this market as it is bleeding a little to the downside as we await for Juneteenth. I mean, let us know in the chat if you guys have any Juneteenth plans. I mean, sitting around watching some World Cup.
What's the movie?
I see my guy's tired over here. I know he was at a big World
Toy
Cup
Story
game.
is a big movie coming out.
How was that Ghana yesterday?
It was a good game.
I was just saying, I see my guy's tired over here, and I know you had a good time at the soccer. Yesterday, yeah, I saw.
Sharif was at the Ghana match.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to go to Adara right now. But yeah, I saw Sharif there. He's been to both matches here in Toronto. What an experience. And I feel like it was probably a great. I saw the Guyanese there yesterday. Were absolutely celebrating in the streets of Toronto before their game. And it was an amazing opportunity. And Sharif, you're right, man. The ticket prices have ripped up. Like the Germany, you can't get into the Germany game against, I forget who it is, Senegal or something? Ivory Coast. You can't get into that game for like under 2,500 Canadian.
It's crazy.
You could have gone to the Canadian game for 900 bucks. So like here we are, we're shitting on our own team, but we're supporting all the other teams. So thank you to all the people that are visiting right now. They're the ones, yeah, we're so cheap over here. We don't want to spend money on our own teams over here. Let's go back over to this desk with Adara.
Market dropped pretty sharply here to start this session, at least the first 15-minute candle of the day, but right now trying to recover here off those lows. NASDAQ doing a much better job here, as you can see, of recovering off the lows. And President Trump posting on Truth Social a couple of minutes ago saying that oil is flowing, talking about stock markets growing, jobs are at records, and prices are dropping. Talking about the U.S. being strong and respected. So President Trump likes what we're seeing here. Let's see if the market continues to like what we're seeing. Let's start with SPCX here. SpaceX did drop pretty sharply here at the open, below the 180 level, currently wrestling with that level. We did have some news here. Roelof Botha, formerly working with Elon Musk of SpaceX in the PayPal era in the early 2000s, he's been appointed at the SpaceX board. So nice look here for SPCX and good look for Elon Musk and co. Keep an eye here on ACN as well. Accenture, day one earnings drop. I was seeing at one point this was set up to be the worst single day performance in the history of Accenture. It's recovered a little bit since the open here, but they did miss on sales, beat on EPS, Q4 sales guidance quite a bit below expectations. Lots of strength in semiconductors still in watch as well. SMCI, as mentioned earlier, no catalyst that I could find on this, and it's rejecting the $30 level, but nice bounce here off the open. Intel, of course, was in watch after a different Truth Social post from President Trump, in which he announced that Intel and Apple are working together. You also have Micron in the memory space. They're getting more positive analyst notes ahead of their earnings report next Wednesday. So lots to look at in the tech space as we send you back over to Sean and Neil.
Thanks, Adara. But for everyone out there, there's an offer that your broker is not giving you. It's from June 8th until June 25th. It's Trade the Pool giving your first-time users an exclusive second chance opportunity. If this is your first time joining Trade the Pool and you don't pass the evaluation, Trade the Pool will give you another evaluation account completely free. That's right, a real second chance to come back stronger and prove yourself. This is a one-time exclusive promotion only available during the Trading World Championship event. Once it's gone, it is gone. Scan the QR code you see on screen right now. Join Trade the Pool today and take advantage of this exclusive second chance offer before it disappears. I want to shout out to Mitch for coming on the show. Good friend of the show. I mean, he's not perfect. He does back Germany in the World Cup, despite the fact that, I don't know, I want Canada to win. I'm Canadian. I know he's in the U.S. The U.S. is in the tournament. I'm just going to throw that out there. But it is what it is. So I did get into SMCI. This market is resilient, by the way. I just want to point out, yes, shorts have worked this morning. The Nasdaq's up 1.7% above VWAP and catching a bit of a bid. I think that bears mentioning, given the kind of strength that we're seeing. But SMCI turned off 30. I got to stop here at 28.86 or so, just because how strong it is. It immediately dropped down like 1 full percent, and they bought it right back up. Like it dropped 1% in the candle that I was getting in, so I don't want to fight this one. You take what you can and what you can get, and you will not be upset. I was just informed our super chat page is working. Yep. I know we're missing a few. Apologies. I'm just going to refresh it myself now so we can go over them. I missed the low of the day print because I was actually just underneath the low of the day on IBIT. So I'm going to take that fill and look for the reload on VWAP here. But we did miss a few.
All right, we can go over
This is the latest one here from Toby. Toby? QTEX, can we look at it? Well, of course we can look at it. Can we look at a small capper for you? I don't know if this one's going to fit Sharif's bill, but if it doesn't, I'd be surprised. 26 million shares, breaking out above VWAP as we speak. How much of a habitual line stepper is it? Hey, it's a new issue, so it can't even do that. Looks like this just came to market recently. That's a little bit more interesting, oftentimes, if it's a little bit of a new issue. It doesn't really have that burns you in the past history. Yeah, you have to respect yesterday's highs. It's already rejected. Sorry, 2 days ago, the highs at 250. It's already rejected. But the VWAP hold is a good one. Support at 220. Don't know what the float is going to be. Sometimes you don't really see the good float on these when they're brand new. And the short float's going to be pretty irrelevant, I think, when you're just coming to market. It's a VWAP hold that is going to be the key. If we have another one, just keep throwing the super chats up there. But as the market's bouncing, I can tell you, I'm going to look for it. Oh, okay, never mind. The NASDAQ just went to the highs, and my expectation was I was about to be able to get a fill here up top on IBIT. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to do that at all. Is that still at the lows? NASDAQ just can't be stopped, though.
No, it seems like it's going higher and higher here. I'm kind of debating looking for a short here, but I mean, I don't know, it might not be right. I was just looking at the Qs, and do we really want to short that? Like, it's a really nice bounce off the 200 period here for the NASDAQ, and welcome everybody to the show. If you are here, make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe and keep the good times rolling. We have over, let me see, I mean, there's not a whole heck of a lot going on in this market right now. We want to thank all 10,000 of you for watching, and make sure if you do get in there that you do hit this little like button right now. 850 of you have done that so far. Hit the like button. We'll check back in a couple minutes. 576,000 subscribers. We want to thank all of you for being here. I still have a stop out happening on SpaceX at 183.50. We could probably close that down now. Let's go to 182 and put a stop order on that one. So we'll put that together. If we break through 182.01, then we'll get out of pretty much the rest of our position here. We'll just put that out. Ooh, I got what the right price is, 182. We'll put it 182.15s or so as a stop there. So if that breaks higher than that, we want to get out if it does break VWAP. I'm pretty confident now. I just looked at my other chart. VWAP is good to go. Yeah, so the other name I was looking at maybe was Amazon. Amazon didn't start with a very great day today. Fell all the way back in, did bounce off at 236, and now you're just bouncing off that 240 level. So this could be something that I was debating shorting in and around here and then giving it to 240. I think it's worth, you know, this 50 or 60 cents back to the upside now. So let's try a little short. Oh, we might have just missed it. We'll punch in a little bit lower. So I'm going to wait. We just punched into some 58s there, 54s. We're going to wait for 65. That's where our bigger order sits. And we're only going to give this a 240. So if we break there, 240.01, wow, that was an instant win. Are you guys punching in every time I'm punching in or something? Because there it goes right down there to the downside for Amazon, immediately in the money, 20 cents there. So I don't know what's up with that. We don't necessarily want to have an instant winner like that. We don't have our full position on, but we'll take it. If it gets back into 239.25s, that's where we'll take that bid. So we just dropped into there, so we'll see if we get that one more time. Again, we're trying to give this about that 40 cents. So if we can make 40 cents, we should do it, and then we'll wait to see if we get a little bit more love here for Amazon on that high side. But a new position, so we'll say woo-ha on that one. Not much is going on, man. I mean,
there's some people in the chat saying, why aren't you covering Take-Two?
Which ones?
We did mention, I saw a few. We have mentioned Take-Two.
I like Take-Two.
And the news here, of course, if you're just tuning in, Rockstar Games announced that the pre-orders for Grand Theft Auto will begin June 25th. Gapped up. It's now up 4%. It was up a little bit more than that, tagging 245 in the pre-market. It's starting to go again and looking pretty good. And I just want to make a clarification, because I saw someone in the chat ask if Rocket Labs was going into S&P 500. It's a NASDAQ 100. If I said that, that's my bad. It's Marvell that's going into the S&P 500. Yeah. Rocket Labs is going into the NASDAQ 100. And CoreWeave as well, and a couple of other names going into the NASDAQ. It's semantics. The more important thing is how many shares need to get bought. We can look it up in the note and be able to give that to you. It's more important at the close. That said, I still like the 100 level on Rocket Labs. So if we do get down here, you can see it on the daily support. It's only a couple of dollars away. And looks like we have a decent chance to get there.
Tesla dropped out of favor a little bit.
Well, it wasn't really that much. Oh, there we go. Thank goodness chart. It wasn't really in favor yesterday either. This just feels like a little bit of continuation. The prior low at 393, holding underneath. The 400 already got rejected. It just looks like a continuation play here for Tesla. That could be something at VWAP. Definitely could be something at VWAP. But I think I'm looking for reversions off the tops here. Like, show me something that is weak as we get into the highs here on the Qs, and maybe look for a pullback. Already into IBIT. I'm trying to find something else that can be a bit of a fade play. I don't want to be the Qs, and I don't want it to be DRAM, because I want to stay away from the strongest name shorting. Give me something weak. Tesla's not bad. Not bad at all.
That's what I was going to say. Tesla made a nice move down into 390 right now. All right, so for SpaceX, I want to put another bid at 180 if that feels fine. But I feel like we're going to get stopped out pretty soon. We do ring the register. Let's spin the money again here for Amazon. We take 30 cents. We just bid 239.25. We just got that about a couple minutes ago, and we're right there right now. So if you guys want this trade, it's 1-to-1 against what we were thinking about. So I'm still bidding O's, so I'm bidding 239 flat. We'll see if that comes in. That is exactly where VWAP is. And then if we get a 230, I'll put that in right now. I don't know if it's going to happen. 238.65, we'll put a bid down there. Hopefully it does flash into those levels. And we did talk about maybe shorting the market as well. CRVO on Lewy body news halted again. So here we go, man. I mean, we want to champion these names. Hopefully finding, and again, I don't know the exact story. Go look it up if you guys are interested in dementia, Lewy body syndrome. But apparently, making some waves on that. So that's really good to hear. As CRVO now making moves higher into $7. So, just watch out for that name as it's starting to just fly around a little bit. And we like the action on that, up 80%. Now done 37 million shares. My boy Intel over here, man. I mean, we hit Amazon, we hit Intel, we hit SpaceX. It's trying. I mean, this 130 level, it's what we wrote down. I don't hate it. It's just that it's looking like a short now instead of a long.
It does.
Underneath VWAP, so I'm short Amazon, we're short SpaceX. Definitely liking those two names right now on the short side. And I'm thinking, honestly, about Intel being a short, against, I think you got to give it to 131, but that would be a trade that I'm looking at here. So if that's something that interests you, you could do that. Joe's knocking out the competition with his TKO stock. Let's have a quick little look to see what's going on. Oh, no, maybe not. It was a nice move higher. Just fell right back into the 50-period moving average. I don't know why did this stock just show up on my radar? I don't know. But into 195 again. There's your 200-period moving average.
Did it?
It's on my. It must be on one of my watch lists here. TKO. I'm going to take it off right there because it should no volume on that one. So that's my bad. I was watching it because Joe was watching it. So I actually added this to my watch list right here. So that's what spikes some of the indicators on my. See, here it is right here. TKO. Was up there, I guess, day high break for TKO. We talked about you could set up a bunch of different alerts using e-signals. So TKO showed up on there. These are the names that I actually have on my watch list here today. So every day, the same watch list. I just update it as names get added, like SpaceX has to be added to this and so on and so forth, right? So Soxel, Marvell, Roblox, SMCI, Cerebras. These are all big names that are in the PC space, right? Intel's on there, Micron, there's Qualcomm. We talked about that again. Of course, the overall NASDAQ with the TQs is triple levered. It was funny because when you guys came over to me, I said Texas Instruments just for a joke when we were talking about Micron. That's up 5% right now. TXN, what a name that's been, man. Texas Instruments no longer making Joe's calculators. They now make everything. Texas Instruments, we like them. Good little name right there. And by the way,
I want to raise you a Dell.
I'll raise you a Casio.
Do you have it? So
right here. This is so dirty. Because it's been literally.
Calculator,
this has been. What is the?
When we open our own
on
trading floor, and when we start in 2000.
Right.
Where's your abacus?
Is that when we open our floor?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 2004.
No word of a lie. So we took some. We're at the head office trading floor. We open our own. Let's just say we borrowed some things for the office. That calculator was one of them, and it is sat on the desk.
Yeah, I wish
at
it had
our floor, and then back here.
Solar battery.
The whole time. It still works too, right?
Solar cell battery, two-way power.
And it still works. It is.
It still works great.
That is.
I used to be like, okay, I have
but as dirty as a calculator I've ever seen.
200,000. It's just because I think it's just full of dust. I don't know. I got to definitely clean this one off. But
you know what you used to use it for?
I just used to calculate my buying power.
Calculate okay, if I'm going to use this amount of buying power, how many shares am I taking?
Right.
Now,
I used to literally go, okay, I have $1,000 and I want to buy 25 shares. What price am I looking at? Or the other way around, what's the price is this? I have this much. So anyways, because now everything is a lot easier to do. But here we go, man. The market just bouncing around. We want to thank everybody for joining us. We asked you to hit the like button, and we were at 850 when we asked you, and right now we are at 1,000. So I want to thank everybody for getting in there and hitting that like and that subscribe. Over 9,700 of you still with us. Look, we're now through Fed. So as we continue to look to see what's going on, we just wait to get some more information about where these markets want to go, if inflation is or not a choice. But 30,575 right here on the NASDAQ.
It's so true.
I mean, they can alter the path of inflation, right? By raising rates.
Inflation exists because you print money and you make money cheap. That's the literal reason that it happens. So of course it's a choice. It's a choice that central banks and governments have been making for a very, very long time. Make no mistake about it. It's just weird to actually hear a Fed chair say that.
Right.
And speak so honestly about it. That's oddly refreshing. The market may not like it, but oddly refreshing. So the market is coming back into some of these highs. What can you even say about the stock market? I am going to reload at VWAP on Bitcoin, whatever, on IBIT. But these stocks are animals. And if you're wondering, how is the NASDAQ doing this? We showed you Tesla. It's not doing much. We've talked Marvell. Nvidia is up 2 points. That's breaking the high of the day. Marvell's not there yet. First of all, Marvell's not in the index yet. It will be, but that's up 9 points. The chips are just going absolutely ham right now. AMD, which I don't think we've pulled up here at any point today, this is now trying to get back into the highs. Oh, now that's affecting VWAP. All right, ignore my VWAP on AMD is a mental note I'm making as that tries to get back up in the top. But as we get back to these highs, take the opportunity to short the available pop that we can get here on IBIT. So I'm just going to park myself in front of VWAP, see if we can get it. That CRVO, the small capper, it halted, opened higher, but it's now underneath the halt price. So it's still battling with this halt price. Always be careful. When these things lose a halt level up, sometimes that means they want to go for a little bit of a jaunt to the downside. But it's up 79%, so congratulations if you got it. It's not unless you literally bought it after the halt, you couldn't have lost on this stock. And maybe you still won't.
Okay, we'll get that in a second there, Andre, for sure. So welcome. Tomorrow we are not live, right? Because we do have Neil might be live. I know I'm not coming in. We do have our talk tomorrow with it being Juneteenth, right? So be aware of that. I just want to bring one more thing to everybody's attention here. Whether or not you like this trade or not, I'm going to be short Amazon up into 141. Because we're able to get some out there at some decent levels, we got VWAP actually at 239. So, I am throwing good money after bad, it looks like right now. But, we're going to go short right now. I'm just short at 240 flat. So we'll see if that wants to come up with something here. I'll put another bid around that 240 marker, see if we're able to take it. But here we go, guys. We do have a quick reminder that Trader TV Live members get Sharif's daily morning research note every trading day, the big market stories, which have key levels, trade plans, catalysts, and what we're watching right there into the open. Hey, it's only $4.99 a month, and you also get member-only videos and posts, custom emojis, and loyalty badges. So hit that join below right now on this video to become a member. And there it is right there. You can get a quick look at everything that we provide for you for just $5 a month. It's Randy's favorite membership. You got to make sure that you do join right here. $5. You will not miss it, right? If you grab it, you will not regret doing that for such a low value there for $5. It has absolutely everything. Sharif putting in the work for us. We want to say thank you to that. Plus some fun emojis, and it's a way to support the show. So thank you to everybody that continues to do that. It does mean a lot to us here at Trader TV Live. So thank you to Sharif and for Fabian and everybody working really hard for us every single day. And what's working hard for us right now is Amazon, as it's starting to finally pull back in. And wow, you just bounced off 240. Hey, okay. Well, we'll put a bid there at 02 as we cross it up. And now we wait to see downside right here as we cross them up like Allen Iverson right here on AMZN. Let's figure out how low can we go. We're well back in the money now. Yeah, Kyrie, wow. Wait a minute. Where is Kyrie Irving these days?
I don't even know. He just has the best handle.
Is he? Oh, no. That's why I'm saying, Kyrie Irving, do not mess around with that, man. Shout out to Duke. I mean, these guys providing Cooper Flag. I mean, a lot of great names. But where is Kyrie? Did he not play this year? No, seriously.
Where was he?
I don't know. I'm not sure where he is.
I don't even know.
Oh, he was
Probably
in
still
Dallas. Yeah, he's been hurt for a minute, but
Before we go to Adara, I just got to shout out Casey in the chat. Casey, you've been
What's up, Jojo?
absolutely fantastic when it comes to the memberships. Another 5 here today. You have to be in the chat to get these memberships. So if you're hearing me and you're like, what are these memberships? We just told you what you get with the membership and showed you, and now Casey's just gifted 5 of them, but you have to be in the chat and enable them so that you can get them. Tai Trader, Seabass,
what's up, Seabass?
TPS reports. Now we're keeping it way back. Cow just got one. ANP Roni also got one, so that's a thing. We love our community, and we have such. Look, everybody in our community is fantastic.
Absolutely.
Casey, you've always been incredibly generous. I think we're going up to the small cap recap right about now to Adara.
Let's do that.
I think so, anyways.
It's recap time, starting with a name that we talked about earlier this week, and that was on our free Trader TV Live watch list this morning. FreeCast, CAST, about 16.5 million share float. They're trading higher here, announcing that they've entered into a reseller agreement for Starlink Business Services. Nice look there. We've also got GPUS, a name that I believe was mentioned yesterday on the small cap recap. Today, they announced a monthly cash dividend of 27 cents per share of 13% Series D cumulative redeemable perpetual preferred stock. This is a penny stock, currently trading around 50 cents. This name also is a treasury play. Last but not least, former sponsor of the show here, Worksport WKSP, securing a direct investment here at $1.20 per unit at a 100% premium. This investor is also apparently considering an additional $10 million investment. Good look here for WKSP. As we send you back over to Sean and Neil. Actually, before we do that, let's talk this IPO. KARD, obviously nowhere near the size, scale, or level of excitement as the IPO we had last week with SpaceX, but still an interesting look here. This IPO is going to go public today, June 18th, priced at $16, higher end of this $14 to $16 range. Again, a biotech play with underwriters that include JP Morgan, Jefferies, Leerink, and TD Securities. If you're looking for more info on Cardigan, KARD, you can find it with this infographic on X at TTV Research. Back to you.
Thanks, Adair. Always with the goods. 430 million, not a huge size in terms of offer amount, but let's be real. We got spoiled with SpaceX in terms of the size of the IPO, and then we're going to get spoiled again when OpenAI comes. But there are other names out there that have had successful runs, and I know some traders absolutely love the smaller IPOs because you can get gigantic percentage moves. So we'll see where that one opens up. We'll make sure we'll get you the tap and all that good stuff probably during the midday show if we're being real about it. That's how typically these have gone. All right, so the NASDAQ is doing it. We just tagged the high on the NQ.
It's on the watch list.
So this is about just over 2%. Yeah, we're now through the highs and breaking high. Remember, make sure you change your contract to the U contract. We are now on that contract. That's where we're at. Wow, Bitcoin just blasted VWAP. Well, you can see what I'm staring down right now, which is the trend break, which is the trend break on SMCI. If I'm getting into a short again on this, it has to be breaking trend, or I don't want any part of it. But as I said, Bitcoin, first short's off VWAP good, but it just burst through VWAP, so I'm out on IBIT. Second short, not so much. But we're going to wait for a trend break. That's what has to happen. It's unbelievable that we sold off all afternoon, and while we were talking about how good the shorts were, only to be up 2 points right now. Man. Unbelievable, this market.
No,
it just goes to show, man. The dip buyers, they're not gone. They're just not gone. This is why we're talking about
there's so much money on the sideline.
Micron next week, if it does one of those dips, like you just wait for that and you get your opportunity, or maybe like a Rocket Lab today at $100. We'll see. Crazy.
What Mini-Me over there is hitting the bang like crazy over there. I don't know what's going on back over there. Did you hear that Mike Myers? Hey, what's up, Joe? Did you want to, Joe? What name? I could tell people if you want what stock you're on. He's going to message me. Okay, I just wanted to say there was potentially a new golden, not golden member. What do they call Mike Myers? He teased a new Austin Powers. That's what it was. Yeah. He was on. Yeah, he was on some podcast with. I don't know what Trevor Noah's podcast is. I'm not trying to promote it. I just saw it on. I think it was on. It was on like a local news. I think it was on CP24 yesterday. They interviewed. I mean, Mike Myers looks about 95 years old. I mean, he's definitely. And it's been 22 years, I think they said. I think the last one was maybe 2002 since the last Austin Powers. But Trevor Noah asked him if there was potentially another Austin Powers in the works, and he just flat out said yes. So that'd be fun. I mean, I like that franchise. Shout out to everybody who likes Austin Powers. And, Beyonce was in there as Golden member, and it was it was a good one. And, we had a lot of fun watching that. And I think that could be fun. Again, some of the British, trying to dry humor there. Makes fun of himself a lot, too. I like it, but anyway, it's something to talk about.
It's hard for any of those to be as funny as the first. Like sometimes it's just like it's hard to recreate the magic, but
groovy,
whatever, man.
baby.
Some people were trash talking the Happy Gilmore.
Oh, the reboot there?
Look, man, I enjoyed it. You take it for what it was. Is it ever going to be as good as the first?
No,
of course
nothing.
Not. But it doesn't mean you can't have a little bit of fun with it for sure.
Yeah, did you ever wind up seeing Grogu versus Yoda, or whatever that was? Yeah, that.
I still haven't seen it.
See, that's the thing. So if Neil's a Star Wars fan and can't go to the theater.
Everybody's told me how bad it is.
Yeah, I know, but I thought you were going to go to the theater and try to check it out, man.
It's a matter of
who cares what other people think?
No, I just haven't had the time.
Yeah, okay. All right, so just real quick, man, we've got a big winner on board, honestly, right now. What we lose on Intel, we make back 3x here on Amazon, on this short. And it's not even like the short was that good to start with. We're able to get out of some there at VWAP. It does bounce off VWAP. I don't necessarily think this name's going to collapse here today. That bounce off VWAP told me enough that right now that there are some buyers that will come in. As Neil said, there's buyers in this market. I mean, I think we could definitely see that. But it's a nice downside move here for Amazon. And we're going to take it, man. It's now 70 cents in the money as we shout out Mike Myers again there as we say, oh, Canada. As today the match is at 6 p.m. local time in Vancouver. So we say a big shout out to all of our friends there on the West Coast. Get out there, as I'm sure they will. Support the team. I think it's been pretty good coverage so far in Vancouver there. It's an indoor stadium, though, so that's kind of like, isn't it at the Vancouver,
well, they need
whatever that dome is there?
Always raining.
Yeah, but whatever. I mean, we're open air here, and it's apparently pouring, and I wanted to see.
No one cares about. You know what? I'm so proud of my daughter's baseball team. It was raining all practice, not a peep. We played the whole way through the rain. Everyone was practicing hard and having a ton of fun, and not a single one of the kids was complaining about it. And I'm like, that's what I love to see. They just get after it, man. That's what it's all about. Look, someone just said, do you see the Trump news? I thought did we not mention this? We did. So if you're curious, this was the latest truth. So now I'm showing the ad as well.
Again.
But this was mentioned by Adara, right?
Yeah, you can go back to around 10:03 a.m., 10:02 a.m. when it did the Happening Now. I did mention it at the top of Happening Now.
Exactly. And that's a topping tail candle on the Qs.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Damn it, we almost shorted the Qs.
And of course I'm not NIBIT. Of course, we're not NIBIT. That's right back at the lows. There's a huge trend break on the Qs. That's absolutely nasty. Of course, IBIT's going to be heading to the downside. Some people saying, oh, Marvell. Well, everything's pulled back.
Come on, Marvell. Keep picking on Marvell.
That's not that big of a pullback. That's not that big of a pullback on Marvell yet. It's only pulled back a couple of dollars. Remember, it went up like $15, so pulling back 2 isn't really that big of a deal.
We want to say a big shout out to more people dropping up some memberships right here. It's a big help for everybody. What's up, Casey? We've already dropped her name there. And then we got one here. Ours are the 6. Shout out to the 6. If you're from Toronto, we want to say a big shout out to you. Or just the number 6 right there. Thank you to you, yourself, and I. There are 5 memberships. That's great. So we want to say a big shout out to everybody there. And you get these nice emojis. You can put Neil's face up here. You also get into the green, which it's very, very important that you get into the green because when we do the roll call, what's up to everybody here? I'm going to try to shout out everybody, so we're going to start the wave. Everybody that's here today, hi, everybody. And if you are a member in this green, I'm going to try to find you right now. Oh, there it is. Okay, first of all, Frank Rizzo, what's going on? Frank freaking Rizzo right there with 10 memberships. By the way, as we do this, Amazon right now, $1 in the money, and there goes Amazon. We're at the highest spot we've been at all day. It's down with Amazon. There we go. See you later, alligator. And it's also a downside move on SpaceX right now. So we say what's up to Frank right there. We say a big hi to Ralph, Mike P. DeRider, Georgie's here, Scotty's here. Scotty Zed is in the building. What's up, Scotty Zed? There's Brian Hickman. As the market is bleeding, Amazon's getting crushed. Charlie Hustle, hope you're hustling. I like that emoji right there. What's up, Scooter again? Maud is here. Gwarev, Bob Dog, Andrew Chow is here. Adam James abroad, we cannot forget about you. And there's Casey again. Taylor. What's up, Taylor? What's up, Rogers here, Wendy's, Tendies, and Big 40 nephew. We got to get back to this market, but a big shout out to everybody who is now a member there. Big shout out to you, Frank freaking Rizzo, as well as there's a nice move down in SpaceX. There's now $1.20 now in the money on Amazon. And like I said, when we win, let's win like this. And when we lose, let's lose like this, where we go long and we get out right there. So we're gonna go 3 for 4 today with SpaceX as being the difference maker, huge difference maker for me there today. 2 times our sort of our daily expectation on this name alone. And then Amazon is about a 1xer right now as we just get back into 239. And we buy that VWAP, man. How many times in a row have we seen, and you know, we sort of joke about it, and Neil mentioned about how key VWAP is, and it's just like, that's now 3 bounces basically. I mean, right around here, we're hovering on VWAP. Right there, we get out of VWAP, and we get out a bunch more. Right? I didn't think we were coming to 239, so we actually had some more at 239, did not get filled, but we bid some 239.20s, and that's what winds up kicking. And here it comes right back up to the upside. And look what else bounced off VWAP. The market bounced clean off VWAP right there as well. So there we go, man.
The Qs specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Qs specifically, because the ES have not been doing as well. If we're just being, I know we'll say the market, and we're 99% of the time talking about the Qs, because let's be real, almost everyone is watching tech. And if you're watching tech, then you care more about the Qs than you do the SPY. That's just the reality. But you know what? It's going to take, as the market bounces, then you take what you can get and try not to be upset. We did reload. Not a reload, because I got out of it with a tight stop, and then re-entered a trend break trade. But I'm going to take another leg out here. Why opening range high from yesterday is finding support on higher lows. If we break down from here, it's either 29.5 or VWAP. We'll look for the out on SMCI. But what a bounce this market was able to do. Look, regardless of what happens today, it looks like we're reversing. I think we already proved that dip buyers are going to be enforced, but I do feel like we're in a bit of a reversal event here. As we said, we bounced off VWAP. We're now losing it again. Bye-bye, bye-bye. Mm-hmm. And for those that were asking about the memberships, they're like, oh, but you have to buy the membership. Yeah, it's a $5 membership. You get that note every single day, 25 cents. I mean, there's about 20 trading days in a month, or you could look at it as like 30 days a month. I call it 25 trading days a month, and it's about 25 cents per. But when we get the gifted memberships, so long as you are in the chat when somebody gives the memberships and you've enabled gifting memberships, YouTube's just gonna dole it out to people that are in the chat. I think it's on a random basis. So, you know, it's like getting a winning lottery ticket that you don't have to buy. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button and be in the chat, and you can get that membership potentially for free when they're gifted, like they just were by Casey. And I believe we also had gifts from Frank freaking Rizzo.
That's right. He dropped 10 of them.
Dropped 10, and then we had from Casey as well. But you have to be in the chat to be eligible to get them. That's all.
We're trying to put some respect on the freaking part of that.
I know, because it wasn't always Frank freaking Rizzo.
But you don't know. It's a quote, I'm sure, of WWE, because it's Seth freaking Rollins is the guy in the WWE, and
I don't follow it as much as
neither do I. But Seth Rollins is amazing. So shout out to Seth Rollins and Frank freaking Rizzo as well over there. So, but okay, as we continue to go on, if you're watching WWE, put some ones up there in the chat. I mean, WWE is huge in Canada, like you have no idea. How big it is. Well, it is on the whole East Coast. I mean, just like it is actually down south. So down south, big, you know, WCW, WWE, things like that. And then also on the Eastern Seaboard, quite big. And, you know, there's actually I think there's a SmackDown coming in August. I haven't got my son and I tickets to that yet, but I think that's something that we'll definitely go check out, as my wife's taking my daughter to Olivia Rodrigo and Gracie Abrams. So I got to take my son to stuff. He's not huge into music, but we'll go into some wrestling events there. And he actually, we've gone to Comic-Cons and all that kind of stuff. So that's a lot of fun to do that with them. And, you know, different kids will have different interests. So that's for sure. All right. All right, SpaceX, man, I literally have like less than 5% left of this trade. So we got some out on the VWAP break. We sort of talked about what we were going to do there, 182.50. That was a good out because it does get as high as 183. Oh, there's a new feature, by the way, on the charting. You probably don't even know this. I know you don't know this. You want to chart data? They have outlier filters. Now, I got to figure out exactly what these outlier filters are. So maybe if I can do some research in that, but you can figure that all out. So we do have sales condition filters, but I just this was unchecked. I just checked it. So, hopefully now some of these moves won't be coming through. The dark pools stopped in the pre-market.
Windows side.
So, I don't know. Something to look at right there as well. Yeah,
That's why if you're at Real Trading, always read the release notes of the newest version.
What's up to
Vladimir?
Yeah, Vladimir.
Vladimir Florin.
Greetings from Romania. Is Romania? Are you guys in the World Cup? I don't know. There's only millions of teams in it, but 12th ranked Italy's not. But anyways, we'll go on. Shout out to that $100. Made a killing today. Thanks for all the info. Been watching every day.
Oh, I like that.
Well, we want to thank you for that. And I didn't finish the rest of this message there.
Lunch money for the boys. Get that curry. About $20 US worth.
Okay, well, that gets about one person curry, but we could definitely.
I don't know what lunch is. It might be good.
We're going to find out. You know what? In 14 minutes,
might be good.
We actually got the menu yesterday for this week, and there's only one day left. So we'll read to you what's for lunch around here, and we want to shout you out and thank you so much for that. A lot of the money that comes in Super Chats, it basically goes to the same spot that all these memberships go and everything like that. We're putting it back into the business. We want to thank everybody. We had to give Joe a big raise and so on and so forth. So, all this stuff has to happen, and we want to thank all of you for your continued support of the show. And I mean, look, no cap. Is that what the kids are saying?
Yes.
Like, we've recently obviously hired, we got Sia on board now. We just talked to you about Joe and, all of that. Neil and I taking pay cuts. But at the end of the day, this is what we're talking about. We need to continue to support the show. We want to thank everybody for all of that. Because, Neil's eating too much fruit.
We buy more.
So that's the problem is, he had to take a pay cut
to feed me
fruit. Yeah.
During the live stream.
So as you know, some days we have bananas, some days we don't. We're penny pinching around here, but no, everything's all good. We've been here every single day, and we're not going to stop regardless.
We've never missed if the market is open.
Yeah, and then Juan in a million, we have him on board now too. So shout out to Juan there, and he is 1 in a million. So that's an expensive
Obi-Wan
venture.
Kenobi.
I don't know where Obi-Wan is today right now.
Mig Raj, thanks Sean Neal for a SpaceX tip. You know what? Speaking of SpaceX,
you're welcome, my guy. Oh yeah, I got to message my guy about
Speaking
SpaceX.
of SpaceX, how about let's do a poll.
Yeah, let's do that.
And I'm only saying that because I literally already have it up. What are we doing with SpaceX? I left out the over the weekend, but let's just say right now and over the weekend. Buy, sell, or hold on SpaceX. Type 1 if you think SpaceX is a buy going into the long weekend. 2 for a sell. 3 for a hold. And we'll see what the chat thinks about it. The chat's been really, really good about some of these polls. We had that 200 over-under, which I was wrong on, and the chat was a little bit more right. And the end of the day, was able to pull it out. But let us know. Just 1 for buy, 2 for sell, 3 for hold. Overwhelmingly 50%. We might have biased things a little bit today, but 50% already voting. I have over 100 votes instantaneously, and it's 50. Give it about a quarter for buy and a quarter for hold, which at least not everyone was copping out with the hold. I feel like that's just the easy. I thought that would be chalk. Usually you think something like hold is going to be chalk. I did reload this topping tail in SMCI, but if it breaks the top, we're just gonna jump out of it. We've had 1 out of 4 be good. Like for me, my day is gonna be the initial 2 SpaceX shorts and then try to move on from there. The other thing I wanted to point out, because I just heard it in my ear, and I guess it's not surprising because we've been saying it all day long. Marvell up 10% on the day that it's going into, I guess the close where it's going into the S&P 500, it's not doing so with weakness. It's doing so with a lot of strength. This is going to make it really interesting. If this is up 10% and at the highs, it's usually you're not seeing this kind of price action on the day of the inclusion, which makes it an interesting chase if this is where it's at the close. I haven't really seen much like that. I think Tesla did something similar, but then Tesla dropped when it went to the S&P 500. Like it dropped for like an hour before the ramp up at the close. This shouldn't be as big. Obviously, Tesla was just a bigger company, but it's still going to be a big one, everybody. So you got to be able to respect it at the end of the day today. 11% now on Marvell.
11, holy jeez.
Well, 10 points.
Good enough for me, man. We
thing.
definitely like some Marvell. Maybe gets a little. I might actually get lighter on Marvell today, actually, as we go through, because this is a big move for Marvell, and I do love the name, obviously, as we continue to talk about it. But the fact that we're long at $60, $65 or something like that on Marvell, it's been pretty portfolio changing, and it's just with this recent bump up, I feel like a lot of the move today is going to be related to the move into the S&P 500. So, possibly getting some more out here on MRVL. Not a horrible. You got TX Jet Fan, right? His
What?
super chat.
Oh,
I'm not sure if we got it, but there it is. TX Jet Fan. We want to say thank you, and I brought up Rackspace to everybody earlier this morning, right? I mean, you messaged me there on X about it, and there it is again. So there's a nice move to the downside. Yeah, there's TX Jet Fan right here. Printed 20. What? Wow, what is this, an IPO day or something? Printed $25,000 on RXT. This show has changed your life. So we tip whatever hat I'm not wearing to you today, my friend, because that is absolutely unbelievable. We talked about this as well. There's the Romanian one. New member alert, Muscle Bagel. If you eat too many bagels, I don't know about the muscle side of that thing, but shout out to you as well. Mayo3387, thank you for sending 5 gifted memberships. Like I said, man, Sia just walked in the building, so there you go. That's another new member that we have here that's helped supported by you guys. And Mark, thank you so much as well for everything. And we don't ever ask for much. We do have Sharif for $5 has that morning note. We talked about the memberships, and that's what's flying through today. So a lot of respect to everybody that's putting up today and helping this community out. And there goes SpaceX again, near the day's lows of 178. We're not 1, we're not 2, we're not 3, we're not 4, we're not 5, we're not 6. But we are $7 right now in on this SpaceX short. It's just from the morning. We could have reloaded it there and should have at 183.50. So, all right, we'll wait for that to come through. It's a 10:42. It's a Dara at the big desk, I believe.
Pretty green sector board here. So we'll start with what's strong. Electronic tech to the upside. You've got WDC, Micron, SanDisk all up significantly. So continued strength in that DRAM space ahead of Micron's earnings on Wednesday after the bell. Producer manufacturing looking great here. AMAT, LRCX, GEV continuing to rally. Utility strong, transportation strong, health services mostly strong. Consumer services strong, and about half of health tech is doing quite well. The larger names in this sector, Eli Lilly and J&J to the downside, but some of these smaller names like Stryker and Intuitive Surgical are trading higher. Retail trade also looking pretty good here. So what's weak? Well, you've got consumer durables here. Tesla up to the downside, though some of the other names in the sector are doing well. Energy minerals red as we continue to see traders digest the official signing now of the Memorandum of Understanding, at least virtual signing here, by the leaders of Iran and U.S. to hopefully get some kind of resolution here in this conflict. You've got tech services here. Google, Meta, Microsoft flat, but some of the other names here, IBM down 5%, Apple down 2%, Accenture down a whopping 14% on earnings day one. So lots of strength, but there are still some weak spots if you look hard enough. Back to you.
They move the same now. Thank you very much there, Adara. I heard you say G Vernova up 6 points, but I'll take you that and raise you Bloom Energy up 9%. And these have been moving, I want to say lockstep recently, but looking absolutely fantastic. What's like Vistra doing? We got Joe in, well, anytime that gets hit, I'm like, Joe is doing something. Vistra's potentially breaking out as well. It was like, that was because of Bloom, wasn't it? Bloom Energy? Yeah, that's because of Bloom Energy. But no, Vistra's waking up. Why not them? So I think a lot of times, rising tide's going to be able to lift all ships, and that's certainly happening. CEG's up today.
Oh yeah, it's up. Yeah, they're all.
It's up 3%.
They're all up.
I was like, yeah, man, it's probably going to be up today, and Sean's like, it's not moving.
Well,
like 3.5%
is good for that stock. Yeah.
Wow, look at. I'd say it's.
I'll take it.
Moving a little bit. It's moving a little bit. Some have asking about Nvidia. You know what? I know we don't cover Nvidia as much as we used to, but there's a reason for that. It's just not, from a momentum standpoint, Nvidia is not that stock anymore. It's so big, it's like that gigantic rock you're trying to push up a hill. It's just a little bit more difficult to do, and maybe some of that's some market cap. But there's a wealth of other chip names that are just more exciting and going to give you more juice. Is it still incredibly important? Yes. Has it found some support? Maybe. At $2? Maybe. I don't know. But it's not. This is not where the momentum is. The momentum is in Marvell, ARM, Micron, SanDisk, Intel, And we go down the line, and this is nothing against Nvidia. Nvidia's done a lot of work for a lot of people's portfolios, and now it's just taking a back seat and turned into kind of like an Apple. To be honest with you, like it's starting to feel like Apple, where you just kind of sit in it. It's like it's not bad, but it's never the best thing in your portfolio at any moment.
I mean, not to sort of. Well, I always pat myself on the back, so we'll just do it again here. We started this year saying that there wasn't going to be the biggest move in the Mag 7 names. We talked about, waiting for the NASDAQ and that it was not going to have the kind of move that we've seen the last couple of years. And right now, the Mag 7 is down on the year. This is mags right here. So if you go into January 1st, right here, you're now underneath. So all of the Mag 7 combined, if you add them all up, you're down from about $67 to $65. So it's not like a huge move, but considering some of the other moves that's happened, as we just talked about in the chip space, and not sans Nvidia, but the Marvells, the Microns, the AMDs, the Intels of the world, and we're not even looking at Micron today, which is a big day for Micron. I mean, it's going out over its all-time highs right here, right now, trying to take this all out, and now going through 126.70 right now. 127 goes Micron back into all-time highs. So, it's these names that have really rallied the market, not the Magnificent Seven, not the NASDAQ in general. I mean, the NASDAQ's at all-time highs, but when you're looking at, what sort of created the momentum here, it's the SNDKs, it's the, I just went over a whole bunch of names. We have a new name right here, held mull long. If I even know what that is, I'd be surprised. MULL.
I'll take a mulligan on that.
That's why. Oh, that's why. Timely. We don't even have it in our system, so I can't even show it to you, but here it is right here. This is a daily chart for MUL.
Whoa.
It's a Micron double long right here. Double long Micron daily ETF. I just typed in MUL in our system, it didn't show up, but 933, I don't know how new this one is. It looks like it's been around for a minute, but there you go, MULL. Probably doesn't do a whole bunch of volume. I can try it. Is it on the Amex?
You know what we do have, though? We have the Toronto one.
Yeah, I see we have the Toronto one. Yeah, so unfortunately, MUL not working on our system, but yeah, congratulations for that one. People that are riding these double ETFs, very, very risky, but if you're trading them, I trade TQQs. I've never held a levered, I've held them, but not for a very long time. If you do hold a MUL or anything like that in your account, just make sure that you get out of it after you feel the trade is done, because they degrade over time. It won't be a double. Like if Micron for the last trailing 3 months is up 200%, this is not going to be up 400%. Exactly. They have to keep on reweighting it and rebalancing it to get that leverage, right? So be careful with double,
day
triple.
Trade, short swing trade.
Yeah, just be careful with those double, triple lever names.
But you can trade. I know that one. Unfortunately, that one's not available. But like for everyone that's looking at SpaceX, you can be trading SPCH.
Yep.
I think there's 3 of them per direction. So there's 3 2x daily longs, and there's a couple in the other direction. We usually just pull up the one that does the most volume. But yeah, this is going to follow pretty nicely. And what was crazy this morning, if you didn't like all the dark pools in your chart, you could have just flipped over to this. It's following it very well. VWAP might be a little skewed on charts that have some of those dark pools, because what are you going to do? But this is perfectly viable. If you have a smaller account and you don't want to trade a $200 stock on just about anything that's of decent size, market cap wise, you're going to be able to find these. And we've seen them on ones that would have been surprising to me, at least to me at least. But you know what? I'm willing to say that now with this market strength, you are attempting to break, maybe not yet, bottoming tail on Intel. It bounced right off that 128. So where does 128 come from? That's just some prior resistance. Go back to Tuesday, go back to Monday as well. You've got the bounce. You're trying to break this trend. I want to see it hold. So there's your dip off VWAP. That's the only time we tried it, and now we're looking for it to break the trend. All it has to do is get above and hold 130.5, and then this can be a play into VWAP. We just got a super chat without a message. So the only way I can show here, group, thank you for the super chat.
The thumbs up.
You can do that because it's Canadian dollars, and I can hit the like on it. But if you include a message, then we have that cool little thing we can flash it on flash it on the screen there for you. So just even say hi, say what up, throw a symbol that you're interested in, whatever it might be. It's just a nice way to be able to put it on screen so we can give you a proper shout out. Not that that doesn't work as well. Now let's go up to Adara. Time for a little money talks and probably a little bit of US dollar action.
Neil, there's certainly some noteworthy U.S. dollar action. It actually looks like the U.S. dollar made a new high of year. So this highest level that we've reached so far in 2026, still well below the 2025 high, which is coming in here around just above 110, currently here around 100.6, but not a bad look here for the DXY trying to break higher. We did get some economic data today, a couple numbers, slightly higher than expected initial jobless claims, 226,000 versus 225,000 expected. Philly Fed Business Index slightly higher than expected as well, 10.3 versus 10 expected. Now, also higher, unfortunately, are the odds that we'll get a rate hike in July. So July 29th, 2026, right now, just under 30% chance that we will get a hike all the way up to that 375 to 400 range. 70% chance that rates will be held in place. That's because we had a lot more of a hawkish tone than what we were expecting. Now, here's pretty interesting. What we were seeing, even going back to, I believe, yesterday before this Fed meeting, we were likely to get a 25 basis point rate hike in December of 2026. That's been raised all the way up to September of 2026. So a chance we could get a rate hike in just 2 meetings from now. Then if you go forward to March of 2027, we could get another 25 basis point rate hikes. That would be a total of 50 basis point rate hikes, again, going up like over the next 9 months or so. So this is significant. Keep an eye on the CME FedWatch tool, guys. But also, keep an eye on some potential task force from Kevin Warsh. He's the new Fed chair, and one of the words that he said the most times, or at least what it felt like, combining his prepared statements and then also in his Q&A, were his task force. He's got 5 focused on Fed communications, the Fed's balance sheet policy, the use of and reliance on existing data sources, productivity, and the Fed's inflation framework. So he's not officially said who's going to be on any of these yet. They're still looking. These are likely to conclude, as far as what he said, probably by the end of 2026. But either way, interesting stuff here. Of course, it had to have an infographic. This is not live yet, very likely to be posted over the weekend. But keep an eye on these Kevin Warsh task forces, or as we call them, task Warsh, because I think that's likely going to be the theme of what we're seeing going forward, because we know he wants to overhaul a lot of processes at the Fed, specifically with regards to forward projections. This is a pretty good way for him to do it. Back to you.
Thank you, as always, Adair. Appreciate you. And there is an event happening at the end of the day. And I'm not saying it's the reason Marvell is up, but it's not hurting the stock. But at the end of the day, we have, and this is going to show, here I can do this, the total value in dollars of each of these index changes at the end of the day. Marvell, but the more important thing is relative to its regular liquidity. Anything over 100% is big. 223% upside Marvell. Like SpaceX is a small upweight, small amount, right? Salesforce is there, whoops. Salesforce, downside, Flex, there's core mining, Sunbelt's gonna be there, Roku, okay, that's a little bit interesting, Roku, ARM, decent size, but not gigantic. The big one is going to be well, at least for my 2 cents, the one I'm most excited about is gonna be Marvell. Rocket Labs, you'll see at the close today, gonna be a big one. Potentially as well. We got On the Rail TV, Pouncer printed again today. Set a stop at 125 and it went down right to 125.01, rode it over to 127. Been playing this range for months. Snipes and swings. Well, Palantir has been doing it. This is one thing we talked about all week. It's like, well, if the stock is showing you a range and that's all it's giving you, then play the range. The only thing that I'd give caution to is it's under the 50, and most of the other bounces have gone to the 200 period moving average, to the 200, almost, to the 200. This one does it feel different after that 200 period rejection? Yeah, I'd say so, but it's been working for a while. Shout out to you, Adam James Abroad. You called the NNE move this morning. I think I did pull this one up when someone had mentioned it, but the volume was so low, I kind of wrote it off, but good luck. The nuclear names have been going ham. UUU has been pretty good, and we know the nuclear names have been in play. It'd just be nice if SMR could do this well, and it's not. but good luck.
It's not. We're
No,
gonna
it's
go
really
over
not.
and figure out what's for lunch right now. Okay, yesterday was beef stroganoff. You mentioned it was not the greatest day there yesterday for beef stroganoff. We actually have something in the calendar for tomorrow, and I gotta make sure I tell our lunch lady there that we're definitely not going to be here. There's going to be a lot left over today. All right, man. Well, today's a U.S. flag. I've already looked at it. It's a chicken dinner winner, but you know it's just chicken again here today. So I feel like chicken's been on sale for this guy for a minute. Herb grilled chicken leg. I guess that's U.S. As we celebrate Juneteenth, maybe some barbecue chicken hopefully comes through there. And here's something that makes it worthwhile: the home-style cornbread. So that's decent right there. So and then roasted veggies with a garden salad. So yeah, man, the cornbread has been pretty tasty in the past.
I didn't hear anything after
here.
cornbread.
Yeah, no, there's nothing else. Vegetables and salad. And then here we go, man. We'll just do one more chicken dinner winner for you because it's Amazon one more time. That's starting to fall back in. We just got a nice little fill there at 60. Let's see if it wants to fall back in one more time. But Amazon riding that one, still riding SpaceX. I'm gonna wait and the out on SpaceX 184 right now. Let's just put that in together. Actually, I already put one in at 182, didn't I, to get stopped? All right, let's just cancel that because we got our filled in there at 178. So 184.01. That'll be the stop out on SpaceX to end that quick trade. We have like 2% left of this trade, so nothing on that. Amazon's the big one, and then the big disappointment today has been Intel. It's not that it's disappointing; it's up 8%. We like that one, but just hovering around 130. I mean, we've been talking about this 130 level, yeah, all-time highs. So nothing wrong with the stock, but just not really giving you as many trade ideas as I would have hoped for, or entries, I guess. The idea was long, and I still think the idea long works. But the problem is, it dropped down to 128 there, and wow, that would have been a good buy around 1030. Not in it, but that would have been nice. And we'll just wait to see where the damage goes. And then on Amazon, 240.50 is our out as well. So that's why we started to cover here when we pulled back into VWAP at 90s. So just wanted to make sure that we were able to take it. It's a 13-cent worth of risk. And, right now we're pulling 44. So it's about 3-1 on this trade right now. And so it's been a good one. And SpaceX really holds the day for me right now. But, making the money back for what we lost on Intel, obviously here on Amazon, has been a good one. And I'm seeing Uber flashing around here a little bit as well. So, okay, back to 72. Yeah, I hate this stock, and I really want to be getting out of it. And when it went up to 74, I was just honestly saying, like, if we can get up to this level, 78, then I probably want to empty it on Uber, but still need a little bit of time to get up to that. And if we do, then I think we'll be selling some of our Uber shares. Unless I can wrap my head around why I need to own it, I don't really see that. And then even Netflix has been a complete fail down to the downside as well, as that had a nice run up to, 108 or something off of the announcement that they were canceling with Warner Brothers. Yeah, 108. Wow, how do I remember that 108 level? That's pretty awesome. But there's 108 as the high back into 77 again. So we're right back into these levels, which is why I bring it up. Only 2 minutes to go in our show. We'll have the money-making guys beside us come through very soon. But that's $77, $76. We're getting pretty low here on Netflix. So if you took advantage of that at 75 and didn't ring the register here at 108, I'm not sure you'll get another chance to anytime soon, but you are getting a chance to get some shares long in that name. And the FOMO is real. If you FOMO'd it all the way to the upside there, thought you missed it, well, here's your chance again. And same thing rings true for Microsoft, as that's starting to head lower here today, as the IGV is really getting smoked. IGV, this is the software ETF, it's giving it all back. Oops, that's UGV. IGV right here. It's a oops.
Had a great run. But
yeah, it had a great run to the backside, and right now back down to $89. I only know this because I've been seeing some of the software names get hit. Yeah, I didn't think we were at our lows again, but wow. You mentioned CRM now, a week and a half or 2 weeks and two and a half
days in a row.
2.5 weeks, my bad.
12 days.
Yeah, and that's mimicking right here with the index. So IGV, this is why all I'm talking about is selling Palantir. I haven't talked about buying Palantir in a minute. So Palantir is a big, big spot of the IGV as well. So watch out for some downside plays in the software space.
Absolutely. We have another super chat that we're going to throw up if we can, and that is from Madeline Nunez. There you go. I didn't get it right. My mommy said that she loves you guys' show, and I have to go brush my teeth, and then I had a nosebleed.
Love her.
Anyways, bye, baddies.
Love her. She's so cute.
Okay, that's pretty cute.
That's so cute.
What do you mean she's cute?
How old are you? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, no, I
kids
can't.
watch
I
it.
can't call other women cute or anything on this show. I mean, unless I know that that's a child. So, we'll be real. I will not. Yeah, I'm not repeating that, but thank you so much for the super chat, and that's a funny story. We love to do that here as well. Yeah, everybody in the chat, like, what the heck? I do think what the heck to that statement as well. Sharif seems to like it, so maybe he's familiar with Madeline there on the chat. I am not. Maybe that's a midday trader there. All right, Amazon just went for a nice little jog higher there. We almost got stopped out of that Amazon trade. I'm going to take one more piece out here in the low 20s, which we just got. Amazon's kind of going hard here. Feel like there's a story. We're out at 240.50, and we're out for now. We're going to go get... There it is. Bye-bye. There goes There has to be a story with Amazon.
They're spending Alexa. That was earlier today. I haven't seen anything new since then.
Well, something's happening right now. There goes Amazon to the upside. So, hey, man, we put that feather in our cap, and now we're out of that. So there it goes, breaking a little higher there, up to 240. It's not even, our charts aren't even showing this fill upside
just a gap
right there. Just gapped up huge, and there goes Amazon. So bye-bye, see you later. Something's happening on AMZN. And the midday guys are going to show it to you. How about right about now? See you at 2 p.m., guys.
Good luck.
What is going on, beautiful people? Bang! Greetings. Okay. I guess not. Okay. Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the midday show. This handsome gentleman is your boy, Joey Options.